Good evening and welcome to another episode of Crypto Society's Market Overview with Bilo, the former bear who's now definitely a bull, and he even bought some SHIB today, and myself, PumpeyeTheTraderMan, or as I might be known as soon, Pumpeye the Hodl Till You Die Man. How are we doing, Bilo?
I'm very good. How are you, buddy?
I am excellent.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Crypto Society's live market overview. We're happy for all of you that you can join us. We're happy that you're with us. We'll start off by looking at the Bitcoin chart. Last week, we introduced a overall Bitcoin wave, Elliott Wave cycle, which started when Bitcoin was basically at zero, and where we have a projection for Bitcoin to reach somewhere around 97 to 99K by end of this year, actually. This is the previous all-time high. I had a different chart in the past explaining why and how we got there and came back. If anybody's interested, you can just ask me and I'll take you through how we got there and what happened in between. But essentially, we went into what's called a Wyckoff accumulation channel, and we got out of the channel somewhere here in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an ABC correction. Waves 1 and 5 typically are 5 waves. Waves 2 and 4 are typically 3 waves. And at the end of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave cycle, there's an ABC. Not to get too complicated, ABCs can come in 7 or 8 different forms. Corrections are a lot more complicated to analyze than impulse waves. Waves 1 and wave 5 are impulse or motive waves, and wave 3 is always an impulse wave. The difference between an impulse wave and a motive wave is that an impulse wave cannot have a leading or a ending wave diagonal where you have like a triangle. There's never a triangle in wave 3, but you can have a triangle in waves 1 and 5. That's the only difference. For this explanation, it doesn't really matter much, aside from to understand that each impulse wave, or for the cases of 1 and 5, they could also be impulse or motive. Each impulse wave has 5 waves inside of it, and each correction wave has 3 waves inside of it. And then if you go deeper into the cycle, and if you zoom in, A has 5 waves, B has 3, C has 5, and the cycle just goes into itself over and over again into infinity. Not important. What's important here right now is to understand that we have done 1, 2, 3, 4, and are on our way up to do wave 5. And for sure, we can all see, okay, great, there's 5 waves, but why do I care about these 5 waves? Well, it's because we want to try to target where Bitcoin is going to reach. And when we're trying to target where Bitcoin is going to reach, Elliott Wave theory comes in very handy, because there are certain Fibonacci relationships and ratios between the different waves. So in this case, if we take a look at the chart and we go out of the weekly, get into the daily, just to have a bit of a better view of what it is we're looking at, we've mentioned this a while ago, that we had an inverse head and shoulders happen with Bitcoin. The left shoulder started essentially at the all-time high and culminated with the head at the low for 2021, which was after the all-time high of that happened in April. We went down to about 28,000. We came back up here, which is wave 1, came back down for wave 2, and are on our way back up right now. Well, this wave structure actually is an inverse head and shoulders wave structure, with this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and that's the right shoulder. Forgetting about Elliott waves completely, we know that the target of an inverse head and shoulders is the distance from the head to the neckline, and then it's transposed on top of the neckline where the breakout happens. That's just basic wave analysis. So if we do that, we kind of reach this zone here of about 78K, just based on a head and shoulders scenario. We reach about 78K. So if we keep that in mind, and we take a look at the Elliott waves, So inside of wave 5, which is the final wave, guys, in my opinion, it's the final wave before we're going to have a real correction. A correction doesn't mean a bear market, guys. A correction just means after 5 waves are complete, there's a correction. That's all it means. So after this 5th grand cycle wave, this is at the biggest possible level cycle of Bitcoin is complete, we're going to have an ABC correction. We'll get to those targets a little later. Right now, we're just going to try to target wave 5 and what our expectations should be. As I mentioned earlier, inside each impulse wave, there's 5 waves. So there's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside of this wave 5, right? The Fibonacci relationship between waves 1, 2, and 3 is a Fibonacci extension, ideally of about 1.618. This is why I placed wave 3 at this location here. It doesn't mean that it can go higher. It doesn't mean that it can be a little bit lower, but this is classic Elliott wave theory. Most of the time, wave 3 is the 1.618 extension off of waves 1 and 2. What adds credibility to this is the fact that the inverse head and shoulder target is actually very close to this target. So for me, I feel pretty confident that we are going to be somewhere in this zone for wave 3, whether it's at 79,000 or at 77,200. It doesn't really make a big difference, right? Because right now we're at 50 or 60,000. So if you knew that you could buy a spot position today that in a few weeks or a month or whatever the case may be is going to end up at 77 or 79,000, it's not going to make a big difference. You're just gonna buy it anyway. Taking a step back, guys, this live market overview and every single one that we do is really, it's about education, and it's to explain to you how we analyze the charts. It should in no way, shape, or form be taken as financial advice. We're not financial advisors. We like to do what we do. We like to share the knowledge we have with you. We do it as transparently as possible and explain why we think what we think. But it's important to please understand that we are not financial advisors and that we're only sharing what we think. So now that we've targeted wave 3, based on a couple of factors, it's interesting to start to see, okay, so if we know that wave 3 should reach about here, how do we know, first of all, where wave 4 is going to kind of come back down to, and then where wave 5 potential reach would be? So again, using Elliott wave theory, the target, if wave 3 is a 1.618 extension of waves 1 and 2, typically wave 5 ends up being somewhere between the Fibonacci extension 2 and 2.618, somewhere here in the middle, okay? So once we're looking at wave 5 inside of this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 structure of wave 5, we can basically point to this being the target, this wave 5 right here, inside of this structure. But what if we were to go back and look at the entire wave structure and apply that same reasoning? So if we just said that 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 lands us in a location where wave 5 is between 2.618 and 2, somewhere in the middle of this wave, well, that should also hold true in order to validate our analysis. That should hold true for the entire cycle. I mean, in order to give the analysis more credibility. So if I was to take away all these Fibonacci extensions, and I was to draw a Fibonacci extension based on the relationship between level 3 and level 5 of a wave, well, if I do it like so and then like so, wave 3, as you can see here, is at 3.618. Okay, so if wave 3 is at 3.618 of 1 to 2, the relationship between 3 and 5 is similar in that it's going to be somewhere here in the middle, between 4.618 and 4. Okay, so I'll repeat, and I'll do this again because I want to make sure you understand it. It is important. So if I zoom back in to just wave 5 and the subwaves inside of it, what I said was, if the relationship between 1, 2, and 3 is 1.618, 5 is going to be one level above in Fibonacci extensions between 2 and 2.618. Okay, the same holds true on the entire cycle, depending on where wave three ends up being. So in this case, if wave three ended up being, we're going to draw it again from here to here to here. If wave three ended up being at 3.618, then 1.5 times above it, and if you do the math with a calculator, if you want to make it even simpler, the difference between 2 and 2.618, somewhere in the middle, so it's 4.618 is about, divided by 2 is about 2.2. 2.2 divided by 1.618 gives me about 1.4, 1.42. So if I was to multiply 3.618 by 1.42, it would give me, not 1.42, I'm sorry, I made a calculation mistake. If I was to take, sorry guys, I'm probably confusing you now for sure. If I was, because it is complicated. If I was to take the difference between 1.618, I'm just gonna go back to the original one. I wanna make sure you understand this because it's the sole reasoning behind why I'm projecting this target. So if 1.618 is the target for wave 3 and 2.3 is the target for wave 5, so 2.3 divided by 1.618 is 1.42. So the difference between wave 3 to wave 5 in terms of an extension is 1.42. So if wave 3 on the grand cycle scheme of things is here, 1.42 times this actually gives me this exact number right here. Okay, it's really that. Does anybody have any questions? I'm going to draw it out so I can show you again. So here's wave 3. Okay, it's at around 3.5. And I'm getting a target of around 4.5 here using that same formula. So not only does the subwave of wave 5 give me this green box, but the overall Elliott wave from when Bitcoin was nothing to where Bitcoin is today also gives me that target. Does anybody have any questions on this? I guess not. Okay. So let's see what's happening with Bitcoin today. Like, you know, forget the future, forget what's happening in the next few months. Let's talk about what's happening with it today. So my tool needs to be adjusted a little bit. So a few days ago, I don't remember if it was last week or this week, Pumpeye, you can maybe remind me, but we identified in CS that there was this potential head and shoulders. It is a head and shoulders. It's not a potential head and shoulders. It is a head and shoulders. But head and shoulders do not necessarily always break down. So
it was last week, buddy.
It was last week. Yeah. So head and shoulders don't necessarily always break down, but there's something to keep an eye on. So a head and shoulders, guys, is a very, very simple structure. And it essentially, you know what, I'll draw it with this. It'll be seen much easier. Here. So this is the head and shoulders. This is the left shoulder, down. This is the head, down to the neckline. And this is the right shoulder, down to the neckline. So that's a head and shoulders. And typically the target of a head and shoulders is the distance from the neckline to the top of the head, transposed from the neckline. Remember before we were saying that it was the inverse head and shoulders, where this is an actual head and shoulders. So if this head and shoulders was to play out as per its technical target, the target would be 50K. So we're at 59K today. The target would actually be 50K. Okay. And this is not inconceivable because it's very normal for the wave, the wave that's following wave 1, 2 to come back and test the top of wave 1. Now, typically in Elliott wave theory, there is a rule that you can never go below wave 1. So there's wave 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 can never go below wave 1 unless you're in a leveraged market. And we all know that Bitcoin is a highly leveraged market. So in my opinion, if Bitcoin was to drop below wave 1, it's going to be a very quick wick. That's funny. Quick wick. It's going to be a very quick wick, which is going to represent liquidations at that stage. That's the only reason why it's going to go below this this wave right here. There will be a quick liquidation of positions below this one, because there's going to be people that are putting their stop losses or their liquidations are going to be below this area. We'll see a quick wick down, which will provide liquidity, and it'll be bought right back up. So I would just suggest, again, not financial advice. I'll tell you what I'm doing. If I was in a position, I definitely would not be putting my stop losses in this region, because definitely there will be stop or liquidation hunting happening if Bitcoin makes it down to this region here. I would be putting it maybe below 46, because that's the next major support zone, 46, 47. Now you may say to yourself, wait a minute, we're at 59K. Why am I putting a stop loss at 40? That's $10,000 away. Guys, the head and shoulders is a pattern that does not always play out. So I'm not telling you we're going to make it down here. I'm just saying that if we do, it would not be a smart idea to put your stop loss here, because all you're going to do is you're going to put yourself in a situation where you're going to be pushed out of your position, and then the market is going to continue on up. Because overall, Bitcoin, I mean, forget about the hype, forget about the amount of people learning about Bitcoin, coming into Bitcoin. You're able to buy it by credit card, you're able to invest in ETFs, you're able to buy options. Forget all that. There's so much adoption right now, including government adoption, that there is no there is no place other than up for Bitcoin to go. And it's just the way it is. Now, there's going to be cycles, there's going to be ups and downs, but the overall trend is up, and it continues to be up, and it will continue to be up for a little bit of time. We, while everybody was calling for 15 and 20K back in April, we advised everybody on this channel and on in our TA chat and Crypto Society, in our TA channel, that we felt that was the bottom, and this is we were quite bullish, and we had our reasons at the time. We explained them, and has to do with many things, but we remain overall bullish. And these changes in market direction, I mean, you really have to be zoomed in to see them as a problem. You have to be really zoomed in to say, oh my Lord, we went from here to here. Yeah, okay. But zoom out and see the big picture. I mean, where are we? We're here. And not long ago, people were calling for Bitcoin at 15K here. So putting things into perspective, again, no financial advice. Next major target for Bitcoin for me is in this zone here, 78K, more or less. If anybody has any questions on Bitcoin or on the chart, now's the time to ask, or we'll move on to something else. Please feel free, guys. You can talk, or you can type in the chat, whatever you're more comfortable with.
Why did you pick the first wave coming from 2018?
I'm sorry?
Why'd you start the wave analysis?
This one here?
Yeah. From 2018 when you got wave one.
This one here, right?
Yeah.
Well, I could have put it here. It doesn't really make a big difference because of the size of the overall movement. I could have put it here. I could have put it a little bit lower. You're going to see that, let's say I put it here, it really does not make that big of a difference. Okay? It does not make that big of a difference, because now as I'm going up the wave, I'm relying more on what's happening in the subwaves to direct me and guide me, rather than what's happening down here. So what's happening down here is going to help me to kind of actualize my targets. but it's more what's happening inside of this wave that helps me more. I can, whether I'm here or here, I know that this is wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3. Look at wave 4. I mean, didn't even come close to wave 1. Typically, wave 4 comes down and touches wave 1. We didn't see that, and that's why people were calling for 20K. We continued back up. So whether it's here, and let's, make this a bit bigger so we can see the details of what's happening back then. The differences are minute. I could have just as easily done it here. I mean, it wouldn't have changed much. I can adjust it. It doesn't change between here and here. There's like $400 or $500. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
I take it that the reason why you can do that is because it's only after the fact of that first wave that you then are able to start counting the rest. So the first wave could pretty much be any length because that's your starting point.
So it can't be any length. It could be any length, but it can't be any length. It starts to matter when it's bigger than wave 3. So let's say wave 1. Let's just assume that Bitcoin didn't start here. Let's assume Bitcoin started somewhere down. Oops, wrong one. Sorry, guys. 1 second. Let's assume Bitcoin had started somewhere here. Well, now it really matters because there are rules in Elliott wave theory about wave sizes and relation of waves 1 to 2 to 3 to 5. And wave 3 can never be the shortest wave. So if wave 1 started to become close in length to wave 3, or a bit longer than it, then it would really, really matter. It would make a big difference because then it would either tell me that we're going to have a very short wave 5, very, very short wave 5, sometimes called a truncated wave 5, because wave 3 can never be the shortest wave, or it tells me that my wave count is wrong and I have to reassess. But it's not the case here. So whether I start here or here, it does not make a big difference.
Sure, I just meant if you were counting the waves from an earlier point in time than now, so as it was happening.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like if I was starting here, then yes, of course, it would make a difference. Yeah, for sure.
Frank's just suggested that it might be easier to look at this in logarithmic chart, by the way.
I've never used logarithmic charts. Let's see what it does. So, okay, so it shows us, I guess, that versus wherever I was. Yeah. It just, the problem with logarithmic charts and Elliott waves is it gives you the visual that the waves are longer than they really are. And it's important in Elliott wave to always keep an eye on wave 3 versus wave 1. But yeah, you could use logarithmics so that you could see the entire history, I guess.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant below. Not for the actual wave counts, but
just
so you could show back.
Yeah, no, it's a good idea. So that was about it, guys, for Bitcoin. Not much more to say. I mean, I'm bullish on it. The reasons I'm bullish are what I just explained. If we start looking a bit at the technicals, looking at the weekly right now, there's 4 days to go for the weekly. This is the last high, this is the low. So it's high, low, high, low. So comparing this high to this high, we can see clearly there are no divergences. Same with RSI, same with MFI. We see a downturn on the MACD. MACD is a lagging indicator. So if this continues to be stable, it won't show up on the MACD. So I don't really like MACD. I'll only use it to just kind of see the crossovers and help me with my wave counts. But aside from that, I'm not a MACD. I don't use it much. Yeah, just overall bullish, guys, on Bitcoin. I really feel that this is what we're going to see quite soon. So unless there are any other questions on Bitcoin, I could move on to other stuff. Okay. We said something last week, which is a bit counterintuitive to what we know about Bitcoin. We always think of Bitcoin as the catalyst to anything that happens in the market. So if we see Bitcoin pumping, we know from previous experience that alts are going to dump. If we see Bitcoin dumping, we know from previous experiences that alts are going to dump. If Bitcoin is stable, that's when we all start to say it's alt season and alts are going to pump. What happened last week was a little bit different. Bitcoin had just hit an all-time high, and we just made a note saying that it's interesting that we see alts pumping when Bitcoin just did an all-time high, hasn't really had a chance to correct or give us a direction in terms of, is it going to go pump? Is it going to dump? Is it going to stay stable? Yet we saw alts pumping. So we theorized that, was it possible that some way, somehow, the powers that be in the market felt or knew or manipulated, if you will, Bitcoin to being stable to allow the pumps on the alts to happen? Because alts pumped all of last week, while Bitcoin just reached an all-time high. So it was just interesting that this happened, because indeed what happened after that was that Bitcoin did remain quite stable for a few days, allowing for all these coins to pump. So it's the first time I've personally encountered this reverse pattern of alt pumping, then seeing that Bitcoin is stable. But I found it interesting and something maybe to keep an eye on for the future in trying to notice different patterns that occur. We could take a look at Ethereum. I haven't looked at Ethereum in a few days. I don't know what I was doing here last time, but yeah, I don't know what I was doing here last time. Okay.
Bilo,
Okay, so yeah.
Can you just pronounce bottoms the way that you've spelt it there?
Bottoms?
Bottoms.
There you go. So I was explaining last week that, or the week before, it doesn't really matter. When we look at Fibonacci retracements, guys, most of the time, not always, okay, but most of the time, there are a few numbers, ratios in Fibonacci that are very important. There's the golden ratio, which is 0.618, okay? And 0.618 is, you know what? It's not a magic number. It just happens to be a number which, you know, there's a scientific explanation for 618 and why it's the golden ratio, because of correlations in the universe, but it's not really important. In trading, if a whole bunch of people, let's say 70% of traders, think that 0.618 is a reactive point, well, 0.618 is going to be a reactive point. So, you know, foregoing an explanation about why 618, just take for granted that 618, that area, 618, 705, is a very important trading zone in retracements, in whether it's stocks, whether it's crypto, whether it's Forex, it doesn't really matter. That zone is important. And the reason I was explaining this is because if we had a retracement from point A down to point B, and then we made it back up towards the 618, 705, and I'll highlight this in green as a zone of importance, because, you know, 618 is really an important zone, but the fact that we have many different trading platforms, there's Binance, there's Qcoin, there's Kraken, there's all kinds, and they're not always the same prices, guys, right? So there's bots that do this arbitrage in order to make sure that the prices are more or less the same, but they're never exactly the same. You could look at a chart from Binance where there was a crazy wick that doesn't appear on the chart of Qcoin, for example. So it's important not to be too hung up on the exact number and be more in tune with the zone, okay? So let's call this zone the important zone, 0.618 to 0.705. So if we went from point A to point B, went back up, more chances than none, we will be rejected the first time at this zone. Okay, that's just, you could back test it. You could look at it on several charts. You'll see that more times than none, I don't know the exact number. I would say 7 times out of 10. I feel comfortable saying 7 times out of 10. If you're below this zone, and I don't mean on a 1 minute chart, okay? I mean on a meaningful time frame, okay? you'll get rejected the first time. And the same holds true if you're on an uptrend. So if you are on an uptrend and you go from point A to point B, and then you came back down in a retrace, this is supposed to be support. More times, 7 times, let's say, or 6.357 times out of 10, I don't know the exact number, you will bounce the first time on this support zone. So this is a good trading tool to know when you're in long or short positions, or if you want to enter a long or short positions. You increase your chances of success by knowing these little tricks. So here, looking at Ethereum, let me see if it's on the daily that we see it. Sorry guys, sometimes my computer really lags. Maybe 4 hours. Yeah, more or less. Okay. So when we look at Ethereum, we see here that we have clearly an inverse head and shoulders. And I explained already to you guys just a few minutes ago, but I'll do it again, just in case. So an inverse head and shoulders is nothing more than a pattern of 3 triangles. They don't have to be perfect triangles, okay? So there's a dip going back up to the same point, another dip called the head, which is lower than the first dip, going back up to the same point, and then a third one called the right shoulder, in this case, going back up to the same point. This pattern here is referred to as an inverse head and shoulders, okay? The target of an inverse head and shoulders, as we mentioned earlier, is the distance from the lowest point, which is here, to the neckline, superimposed or transposed on top of the neckline. So in this case, the target is approximately $4,700. That's the target of, $4,700, okay? Let me just get rid of all these lines. It could be confusing. $4,700, okay? So this is the target of our inverse head and shoulders. And as we can see, we've already broken out right here of the inverse head and shoulders. And it's very typical to see in a successful inverse head and shoulder or head and shoulder pattern breakout. We go out, we come back, we retest the neckline, and then we continue on up. So this is a clean inverse head and shoulders. It's very credible, very likely to succeed and to hit its target. The reason it got, kind of delayed here a little bit is because Bitcoin did this. So once Bitcoin, let me go to a cleaner chart. I don't have any cleaner charts. So once Bitcoin did this, obviously Ethereum followed, as did the rest of the market. It's unfortunately this marriage that Bitcoin and Ethereum and all these other coins have is so far is unbreakable. And I lost my Ethereum chart. Is it this one? No. Here. So that's the reason. But the target remains here. I mean, this is what everybody's eyeing. And again, guys, a target, it's because people are eyeing it. They're buying it up to sell it here. It's not because it's magic. It's not because, there's a force in the universe that brings it here. It's because many traders saw what I just pointed out. It's very obvious. It broke the neckline. It retested the neckline. We're seeing everything we want to see in a trade setup. It got derailed because of Bitcoin, but when Bitcoin stabilizes again, and I believe we can go back and talk about that a little bit and why I think it is going to stabilize. But once Bitcoin stabilizes again around these price ranges, we'll see this continue back up. And I had started a wave count here, this being wave 3, and then ABC from wave 3. Here we go. And then, which is wave 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to what I presume will be the all-time high, target for this year for Ethereum. Forget these dates, guys, because this does not take into account time. It just takes into account wave price increases. Okay, so if we do an Elliott wave count, or not an Elliott wave count, we do a Fibonacci extension, and we use this here, this inverse head and shoulder target as wave 3. So we bring it to, let's say, here. So wave 3 typically, like I mentioned to you before, is 1.618, but doesn't mean it has to stop at 1.618. Okay, wave 3 can go way above 1.618, and it could be an extended wave 3. Now, if this was wave 1 and this is wave 2, we have to find and count the waves in order to get to wave 3. So this would be 1, this would be 2, right? Inside of wave 3, guys, remember what I was showing you earlier? It was on another chart, but I'll just do it again if you guys want me to, because you're still not sure. So just one more time, because I want you to understand this. This is a typical wave cycle, okay? A, B, C. And what I said earlier is that inside of wave 1, there are 5 waves. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Inside this wave 1, there's another 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can go on forever. So we're not going to go down to the minute chart, but I think we're on a 4-hour chart. It's reasonable to start counting waves on a 4-hour chart. So if we agreed that this is wave 1 and that this is wave 2, and we want to find wave 3 and we want to correlate it to this target right here, because this could be wave 5, maybe wave 3 is over. So let's start counting waves. Well, me personally, what I see is I see a wave 1 here, I see a wave 2 here, and now from wave 2 of subwave 3, I need to find another 5 waves to make up wave 3. So I would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we had a correction. Okay, so my target of wave 3 is not going to be met, and I wanted to explain to you why. It's because I actually counted my 5 waves. They're gone. So I'm going to erase all this, and we're going to count together. And if anybody sees a different count, please point it out to me. Okay, so I'm saying, and this is why Elliott wave analysis can help you make winning trades, because the waves, there's rules to them, and you just can't fudge those rules. It either works or it doesn't. Let me just change the color. I'm going to change the color. I can't do it like this. I'll do it like this. Okay, I'll just change the color after. So 1, 2. I'm saying, let's say 3, 4, 5. We'll count them later. I'll put it in white so we can see it, and I'll get rid of all this. I'll get rid of this so we can see everything clearly. So if this here is 1 and this is 2, remember I said we're looking for a 1.618 relationship, right? So 1.618, guys, I didn't do this on purpose right now. I'm just showing you. Look at that, okay? 1 to 2 to 3, more times than none. The relationship is 1.618. I mean, it's to the T. I promise you, I didn't set that up on purpose. It just happened like that, okay? So 1, 2, this really is the target for wave 3. It's been hit right here. And now I want to find my 5 waves. Here's wave 1. Inside of wave 3, we have 5 waves, right? So inside of wave 3, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Nice and
I'll draw
easily
them
visible there, aren't they?
I'm sorry?
They're nice and easily visible.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not easy to spot, but sometimes it just is. So it's like you can't deny the simplicity of this. So we know now, what do we know based on this analysis? We know that this is 4, okay. So this is 1, 2, this is 3. And how do we know this is 3? Because I have 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 waves. The waves work in relationship to each other with Fibonacci rules of 1.618 to 1. So I feel pretty confident that this is wave 3, and now we're in correction for wave 4, and we're about to see wave 5. And guys, what did I say earlier was the ideal target for wave 5? When wave 3 hits 1.618, the ideal target was somewhere between 2 and 2.618. So right now, based on what I just did now in front of you, I haven't looked at Ethereum in a week.
You sound like a magician, Bilo.
Yeah.
Based on the information that I have in front of you that I did not set up earlier, but it just works out this way.
Here, guys, this is my target for wave 5. It's just under $5,000. Okay. So what I would like to see, and wave 4 doesn't mean that it's over. Wave 4 can go down a little bit more. It doesn't change anything. Target for wave 5 does not change because it's based on the relationship of waves 3 and 1. Okay. So if wave 4 can go down a little bit more, I think it won't. I think it's supposed to settle down in this region here, but it doesn't matter if it does. Okay. Because the target for wave 5 remains somewhere in this region here. Okay. Around just under 4,900, 5,000, 4,900. So what I'd like to see now inside of this wave 5, I'd like to start being able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. That's what I'll be looking for next. After I reach this point, zooming back out, we're inside this wave count here. I'd like to see at that point a retracement ABC that I'm showing you here, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'd like to see once I reach 5, which I'm going to adjust to here based on what happened. Because guys, one thing in trading, whether it's Elliott Wave, whatever it is that you use, whatever technique you use, you can't draw a chart and say, that's it, that's what's going to happen. If you don't adjust based on new data that comes in, waves that change, get longer, get shorter, you're going to get burnt. You have to always be ready to adjust your position. In terms of position, I mean, your thoughts on what's going to happen based on what you see in front of you at the moment you see it. So previously I was thinking we're going to be here. Well, now based on what I see, I'm thinking, well, we're going to be here. Okay. So understand that all these wave counts, this is actually at the end of the day, just one wave, right? Inside of wave 1, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inside of wave 5, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it just goes on and on forever, right? So now I want to see, once I reach here, what should I expect as a retracement? So at that point, I'll draw a Fibonacci retracement. I'll use my Fibonacci retracement tool from here to here, and I'll bring it to here. And typically, I'd like to see wave 4 retrace down to about 382. This is where I'd like to see wave 4. So what I'm saying is we'll probably see something like this, and then we'll continue on up. But it's too early to say. I'm not trading this. I'm not even here yet. Right now, I'm interested in zooming in and what happens here. This is what I'm interested in. What's happening here? That's my next, point of interest.
Yes. How high does wave 5 need to go for 382 to be at previous all-time high?
Sorry, repeat that, please.
How high does the wave 5 need to go in order to have 382 be at all-time high? So the retracement to end up being at...
Sure. Good question. Needs to go here, 6,000.
Okay. That would need to be an aggressive wave 5.
Yeah, it would have to be an aggressive wave 5. And it's okay because wave 1 is the shortest wave. Let's say wave 1 was longer than wave 3. that would tell me wave 5 can't go more than X. You know what I mean? Because wave 3 can never be the shortest wave. And I have a perfect example of this. I did a chart yesterday before Phantom went down, and purely based on the fact that wave 3 was about to become the shortest wave, I said this is where it's going to dump. And it's not any other reason other than that I was pretty confident that it was going to dump, and it did. Only because wave 3 was about to become the shortest wave if wave 5 continued higher, and it didn't. So there's so many rules in Elliott Wave. I don't know, maybe I know 10-15% of it, guys. Like it's so complicated. And primary waves like waves 1, 3, and 5 are a lot easier to analyze than corrections, because in corrections you have 5 different kinds of corrections, and in each type there's maybe 3 subtypes, and it can get very, very, very complicated. So I'm learning as I go, and I mean, I really like Elliott Wave theory because it helps me to kind of gauge, okay, we've reached a point where we can't go anymore, or no, there's still room for growth, or what have you. But it's complicated, and people that know Elliott Wave very well are paid a shitload of money to work on Wall Street. So, yeah. I hope this helps. I don't know if anybody has any questions.
It's definitely very useful for being able to, I hesitate to say time the top of the market, but to have an idea where the top of the market will be.
So one thing, and I'm going to repeat it. If you're ever in a situation where you're counting waves and you see that wave 3 is about to become the shortest one, you can take that and say, I'm shorting now because wave 5 can't go any further. Just that could be a very powerful shorting tool. Or if you're heading down in a downtrend, it's the same thing. It's the opposite. Could be a very powerful longing tool. Right?
For sure.
Doesn't happen often, though. It's rare that wave 3 is the shortest. So when it happens, jump on it.
Bilo, we've had a request for taking a look at DOT.
Sure. Oh boy, hold on. Okay. So DOT, so this is like a couple of weeks old, I think, this chart. Previous all-time high, $49. We made it to 47. What's happening right now with DOT is, well, you know what? I'll explain first the dynamics of the chart. So we have a very nice cup and handle formation. A cup and handle formation has similar targeting to a head and shoulders, or an inverse head and shoulders in this case, whereas the bottom of the cup to the neckline is the target transposed on top of the neckline. So the target for this cup and handle is about $62. We are also at the same time inside of this channel. You see it here. Okay, we've hit this resistance a few times here. We're in 4-hour chart, right? So we have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, at least 11, 12 times we've hit this this resistance channel. Here it was actually, the top of it was support, and this is now resistance. And I said a few weeks ago that breakout from this channel with high volume will be the confirmation of bullish continuation of impulse wave 3. Hasn't happened yet. Now, something else that you can't help notice is we have a rising wedge here. Okay, that's not a very it's a bearish sign. Okay, I'll just draw a triangle just so you guys can see it better, because there's a lot of colors here. Here you go. And I'll put it in red to scare you. Oh shit, that's the wrong one. There you go. Now it's scary. So
that's Pumpeye's ultra scary red.
So this is called a bearish wedge, guys. So whenever you see a pattern of a triangle pointing upwards, it's called a bearish wedge. And if this was pointing downwards, it would be called a bullish wedge. So this is happening. What's happening here is there's a squeeze that's going to happen at one point where you break down from this bearish wedge. Now, you could break down. I'm just going to draw something. Oops, excuse me, actually I have it here. We could break down from this bearish wedge and hit the bottom of this channel and then go back up, which is totally fine because we are in a channel and the overall direction of this channel is still towards the top side. Or depending on where you break out. So the target of a bearish wedge is the distance from the top to the bottom of the wedge on the where it starts, transposed on top of where it breaks out. If it broke out here, we would actually, if it reached its technical target, we would actually break the channel, but we would form a double bottom. And this double bottom would definitely be bought up. I mean, at 26, 27 bucks, it would be brought up. Okay,
I would be buying that.
Everybody would. So this is, a potential play. Doesn't mean we're going to break down from this. It's just something to keep an eye on. Again, it's like an inverse head and shoulders, a head and shoulders, a bullish wedge, a bearish wedge, cup and handle. They're all potential signs for us to keep an eye on something. They don't always play out, but if they do, this is what you got to look out for. These are the targets that you want to keep your eyes on. And you can actually trade those breakouts, but they don't have to. For all we know, there's nothing stopping it from doing this and just completely erasing this bearish wedge. Okay, and we'll get into the analytics that we can see right now in front of us to say, do we look like we're going to break up or break down? At this point, we start to look at analysis like RSI and money flow index and. Let me get rid of this because I really don't know why I have it here. I'll get rid of this. Here we go. Okay. I just want to focus on RSI and MFI. Okay. So, and I'm just going to zoom in. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the psychology of what's happening with the DOT at the moment. Okay. DOT, as you all know, there's parachain auctions coming up. We spoke about it at length last week. I'll be more than happy to get into it this week if there's anybody on the call that doesn't understand or know what the parachain auctions are and how they can participate. So if at the end of these chart discussions, anybody has questions, even if you want a full explanation, I'll be happy to give it. With the parachain auctions, essentially, people buy up DOT or they have their own DOT that they don't sell, and they lock them up with projects that they want to support in order to gain rewards from these projects that they want to support should the project they support win a parachain slot. Example, recently there was Kusama parachain auctions, and they're still ongoing. But the bigger projects, the more hyped projects have already passed. One example, and we spoke about it last week, is Moon River. If you contributed Kusama to the Moon River parachain auctions, Kusama parachain auctions, but in support of Moon River, for every Kusama you gave, locking it in the parachain slot auctions for 48 weeks, you got in return 14 Moon Rivers. Now, guys, Moon River hit $500 about a month ago. So you can imagine that everybody wants a repeat of this. So imagine blocking away one KSM, which at the time was valued at about $400, for 48 weeks, and you'll get it back. It's not taken away from you. You will get your KSM back. And in return for that $400 investment, you got $7,000 back for each KSM you put away. I mean, that's insane. That's like, everybody wants a repeat of this. I personally don't think it's going to happen. I don't think there will ever be another Moon River type reward mechanism. For many reasons. One of them is that Moon River had no private sales, no private allocations. Moonbeam did have some, but also it's the same theory in trading or in stocks. If everybody knows about something that's good, well, it's not that good anymore. So now everybody's looking at Moonbeam to do the same thing Moonriver did. So just psychologically, I don't see how it can happen. I mean, there can't be enough rewards to go around at that value, because now everybody's going to be investing in Moonbeam. And I don't want to dissuade anybody from investing in Moonbeam in the parachain auctions. I am going to invest in it. I'm just saying you're not going to see the same kind of rewards that we saw from Moonriver. That's all I'm saying, just from a logical perspective.
However, it is possible that by the time that you get your DOT unlocked again, that the tokens that you're given, despite the fact that you might not be given as many, will be worth a lot more. So
100%. I mean, for me, I'll speak for myself. Everybody else can speak for themselves. DOT for me is a long-term hold. I will not sell my DOTs. I'm holding them like people held Ethereum, like people held Bitcoin. I'm holding DOT. That's just, KSM is the same thing for me. So for me, I have zero problem locking away my DOTs for 2 years. It doesn't bother me at all, because it's not like I'm going to sell them anyway. So why am I telling you all this? Is because this is the reason that DOT started to see some upside movement. But what we saw happen with Kusama during the parachain auctions, and it's very good that we had it because we learned from that, is at the same time as people were buying Kusama so they can lock them away and potentially get valuable rewards in return. No one knew at the time, what was going to give what reward, and which one was going to be better than the other one. There was also a bunch of traders that really didn't care about the parachain auctions, but saw an opportunity to sell against that buying pressure. So they bought with the waves that were buying up Kusamas to lock them up in the parachain auctions, but then they sold them. So they just swung trade them. Well, this is happening again. Okay, people buying DOT for the Kusama, the DOT parachain auctions. There's people buying them so they can lock them up, but there's people buying them knowing that the price is going to go up. There's going to be significant buying pressure for the parachain auctions, and they're going to take advantage of this significant buying pressure by selling into a green candle. And it's really that simple. Okay, that's from a psychological perspective. When you look at the chart and you see this bearish wedge, definitely something to keep an eye out for, because breaking below this could be a catalyst to further dropping, especially if you drop below this channel. It can drop a little bit further, like I mentioned earlier. But when I look at the metrics, like for example, I'm looking here at money flow index and RSI. RSI doesn't show it, but money flow index definitely shows it. We have very clear bullish divergence at this point. So what does that mean? That means that as DOT made a lower low, I'm just going to change the color. Sorry, guys, it's a lot of colors. As DOT made a lower low, the money flow index made a higher low. That's the definition of bullish divergence. I wish I could explain to you the reason why we don't see it on RSI. I started to look into it. The only difference between RSI and MFI, money flow, is that money flow incorporates buying strength, actual buying, versus just volume. It incorporates an extra metric to RSI, and actually might not be a bad idea to just kind of research it here together so we can learn together. MFI versus RSI. You guys can see my Google screen?
Yes, we
can. You guys see the screen? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So money flow index represents the volume-weighted adaptation of the more widely used relative strength index. RSI tracks market momentum through the speed and change in movement, in contrast to MFI that more carefully watches buying and selling pressure. So it incorporates the actual buying and selling versus the speed at which the commodity, the stock, the crypto, whatever, is changing positions. Okay. So in my opinion, MFI is more representative of the oscillation in the market than RSI. And sometimes they work together, sometimes they don't. I wish I knew why more deeply. Just be honest, I don't. So I look at both, and when I see divergence on one and not the other, it doesn't give me as much confidence as when I see the divergence on both. I don't know if somebody on this call has a better explanation as to why, but I don't. Frank, Pumpeye?
No, I don't, I'm afraid.
No, I never use it.
Okay. So yeah, if we go into other, let's say, higher time frames, we might see things match up a little bit more, and at that point, it'll give us a confirmation that in this case, MFI is the one to look for. And in terms of if we go to the daily candle, which has still 2 hours to go, what we see is we've bounced right from this line here. Okay, so guys, this line, just reminding everyone, when you go back to the 4 hour, it's the cup and handle top. Okay, remember this blue line right here? It doesn't show as a cup and handle here, simply because on the daily, it's just one candle. Oh yeah, it does. Sorry, forget what I just said. So we've retested the top of the cup and handle. This is bullish. Okay. Anytime you test a previous resistance and you use it as support and it becomes support, is usually a very bullish thing. So if I had to pick, going back now to the 4 hour chart, if I had to pick between bullish divergence that I see here and regular zero divergence that I see here, just because I bounced here, I'm more inclined to pick this and say that this was a bottom and we should be heading back up right now. The other thing that I see is I see these candles. These are hammers and tweezer bottoms. So these are also bullish candles. So tweezer bottoms, guys, it just means that you have a candle with long wicks or wicks under them, and they look like tweezers. That's all it means, okay? But this is a tweezer bottom formation, and it's bullish. And when you see at the bottom of a trend, it means we're going to go back up. And if you saw the same thing upside down at the top of the trend, it just means we're going back down. Like here, we have two tweezer tops, you see? And we went back down. Same here, tweezer tops, we went back down. So I'm more inclined to say that we're going to bounce, and we did, and that we're going to continue going back up here. Of course, Bitcoin has to behave, because we can have the best analysis, bullish divergences, wave counts, everything can be beautiful, but then Bitcoin does this, dumps for whatever reason, and everything's going to follow. So bearing in mind Bitcoin, if Bitcoin stays stable, I feel like we're going to break out of here very soon.
Bilo, go back to the Bitcoin chart a minute and just have a look at the hourly. Because
hourly?
The hourly.
Okay, I'm just gonna go to a clean chart, because I created this today because
you can just click the eye down at the bottom on the left hand side, and it will just remove the drawings.
No, check this out. I did something else. Bumpy, help me out. How do I get rid of this?
It should have been down the left hand side, actually.
Yeah, but it's not. Sorry, guys.
If you just want to clean the chart, you can just turn off all drawings. I think that turns off the indicators as well, doesn't it? Or not?
No, here we go.
Does it come up now?
Okay, that's it. That's what I want. Just want to turn this off. Boom, gone. Okay, you want our chart?
The hourly, yeah.
Okay. Yes.
If you
what would you like
if you maximize the pain, although Bitcoin's already done that today, we've come up and we've tested that that neckline now twice and not broken through it in the last sort of 7 or 8 hours.
So are you saying the neckline is here, or is it higher? Because I drew the neckline a bit higher. This scam week, I didn't consider this scam week.
No, neither did I.
I'm not on
the Coinbase chart either. I was on the Binance chart.
Yeah, more or less here. Okay. So you're pointing out that we've retested the top here,
Yeah,
right?
And on the Binance chart, it actually shows that we've retested it twice and we've not managed to break through. Would that suggest to you that there's a chance that we might actually go lower from here?
So by the same token that I said earlier that a previous support what I said earlier was a previous resistance that's now a support is very bullish. The inverse is true. A previous support that turned resistance is bearish. Okay. Is it the only thing to look at? No, I think we have to look at a lot of other things.
Can you put the VPVR on as well?
VPVR.
So we can see where the best lines of support are.
What do I do that? Is it here?
Yeah.
Oops. What is that? What the hell is this? There's so many.
A pseudo VPVR.
Okay, let me just
a smaller version.
Yeah, I'm gonna adjust the VPVR. Okay, and I'm just gonna make the screen bigger. But the problem when you're in the 1 hour range is let me just go to the 4 hour range. We'll have a better view. Here we go. So yeah, definitely this would be the support region here, about 57K. But it doesn't necessarily have to go there because we see that support starts to build up actually around where we are right now. So technically 58 is also good support.
Yeah. Probably the reason for the bounce earlier because we literally bounced bang on 58.
Yeah. It's a lot of noise here because you could see there's a lot of price action here, and again, you know, you could see this here as well. I mean, it's okay. This here, almost like an reverse cup and handle. It serves the same kind of purpose, but you could see that this is an important point because you have a lot of support here. So this whole region is important support. I really don't think we're going to break through it. Okay. Here, you could see there's a lot of action here.
Yeah.
So this whole region is support, and I personally don't think we're going to break through it. But I want to see what the oscillators say. And if we look at
the shorts aren't increasing. The problem is neither are the longs.
You're talking about open interest?
I'm just looking at the open longs on like Bitfinex.
Yeah. So we don't really see any helpful divergences to help us on the 4 hour chart. We don't see any. But what we do see is that MFI is at a very low figure. It's at 5 on a 4 hour chart. And if we go back and we just take a look, whenever we've reached those regions, we've gone up, up, up. We should go up, up, down. So this is the one time we actually went down. The most of the time we go up. If I was to look at a 12 hour chart, see if there's any difference, and looking for clues here, right, guys? We don't have all the answers, so we look for clues. Nothing. Aside from this, again, it's so low. Money flow is so low that I'm inclined to say this is going to bounce. Because always look back at the history, and I'm on the 12 hour right now. Up, 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 up. If I was a betting man, and I am since I'm a trader, we're going up.
You say
This
that,
is
but I'm not a betting man at all. I don't gamble in the slightest, but I do trade.
yeah. Well, I think we're gonna go up, guys. That's what I think. Let's go to the daily and see what we see on the daily. So this is the previous low. This is a new low. It doesn't help us. Low, high, low, high. This low here. Yeah, there's really not much clues. Not much clues aside from when you go into 12-hour, 8-hour, 4-hour. These MFI values just they really make me lean towards a bounce. And the fact that we're in the support zone, like I said, this green band is a support zone. A lot of action there. I'll just zoom back out again so you can see it. A lot of action here, a lot of tops. These tops are now, to me, supports. I don't think we're gonna go down more.
Okay, so
We might not bounce, but we should be at least, at the very least, stable. Yes, Pumpy.
on the note of you being a trader, let's have a little bit of a chat about your happy accident today. What were you trading today, Bilo? What did you buy in the dip?
No comment.
You don't want to comment, but yet
No.
I'm sat here looking at crypto bubbles, and I'm going to just bring it up for everybody that's watching on the stream. And the only coin in, I think it's the top 100, yes it is, that is in the green is Shiba Inu. And
What
it's
is that?
currently up
Never heard of it.
67.9%. What was it up at the
Yeah,
point
so-
where you bought it,
I
Bilo?
never heard of it. I don't know what you're talking about.
What point was it when you bought it, Bilo?
I don't recall, Senator.
Come on. Do you remember what percentage it was up?
No.
Okay, so what happened anyway? You bought some Shiba Inu, so what happened? You can't
Everybody's
you
here.
can't just go quiet. I'm very sure that everybody would like to know exactly what happened when you bought Shiba Inu.
So I had a funny thing happen to me today. I decided to buy some Shiba, and I think I entered one too many zeros.
Hold on, can you just start that again? And can you start it? Hello, my name is Bilo, and I am a Shiba buyer.
Hi, my name is Bilo, and I'm a Shiba buyer.
Brilliant. Right. So what did you do?
So I entered one too many zeros because it's a lot of zeros. It's 0.000 whatever. And I was doing it on my phone at a traffic light. I decided to buy some just to see what would happen. And a few hours later, I went into my account and I realized that I'm short a shitload of USDT. Like, what happened? Where's my USDT? And it just so happened that I ended up buying a lot more Shiba than I thought.
I'm guessing
Luckily,
10 times as much.
Yeah, luckily, it had gone up, and I didn't even look at the chart or analyze it. I just market sold because I don't want to lose all that money. If I would have held it, I would have probably 2x'd. But it doesn't matter. I'm just happy that I found it and I got out. That's the story. You're happy now, Pumpa? You're happy?
I am happy. Can you bring up the Shiba chart? Because we were actually asked if you would do a...
Yes.
If you'd do... Sorry. If you'd do an Elliott Wave count.
Yes, I did actually prepare one.
Excellent. It's a shame you didn't do this before you sold, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to make all this disappear. How do I do this? Is it this one?
Yes, that's right.
Hide. Oh, no, but I can't hide everything. I need the counts. Okay, here, I'll do this.
What you could do is you could go into the settings and you can just remove labels.
It's okay.
So if you just double click on your Elliott Wave count, it will bring up the settings and you can just remove labels. And that way it'll just get rid of the numbers.
It's okay. I'll just get rid of the numbers.
If you don't, in fact, do you know what? If you don't draw anything in between, you could just Control Z and bring it back in a minute.
It's done.
Okay.
So I did an Elliott wave count just before this live stream, and this is what I came up with. I'll go into a zoomier setting so you guys can see it better. So I said that we hit wave 5 and that we weren't going any higher. And I set a target. Holy shit, we hit the target. Oh my God, I think I bought some.
What, just now?
Fuck, 1 second. If you don't mind, give me a second.
Sure. So the guys who are in our Zoom meeting, if you fancy having a chat, then let us know, what did you buy in the dip today if you bought the dip? And do you tend to hold some stable coins free in order to buy the dip should we have a correction like this? Frank, did you buy the dip?
Oh, yes.
What did you buy?
I bought more Ethereum.
Nice. I was expecting you to say I bought some SHIB too.
I actually got, I rang my dad. Funny story. And I'm like, but my mom was telling me that my dad bought Shiba. And so I find out that he's an absolute degen, obviously.
Brilliant.
And I'm like, maybe it's time you sell it. He's like, no, I'm going to die with it. And all right, okay. I think that's kind of the spirit, is the reason why I share the stories. I think that's kind of the spirit of a lot of the investors with Shiba. They're kind of, hoping it's going to be the next thing. And, they put little money. Now it's a lot. They don't care about losing it. And I don't think there's that many people selling.
No, there probably isn't, because everybody, because of the hype, is expecting it just to keep going up and up and up and up. And I mean, it is number 9 on CoinMarketCap right now, which is crazy, really. And I know that it's not necessarily a complete meme coin anymore, because they are going to have some use case. They're going to be releasing a DEX amongst other things. So it could probably be taken a little bit more seriously than Doge, at least. And all the other new coins that are on Ethereum and probably BSC as well.
Yeah.
Anyone noticed just now that when Frank was talking, every time he said Shiba, he had to whisper it?
Okay, I'm back.
I do find it quite funny, actually, that Frank is a sensible trader from what I know, and his dad's a complete degen. Brilliant. So is your mum the sensible one in the relationship?
Of my parents, clearly, yes.
Excellent. So other people bought Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin. Nice. RSR, and Amber was busy eyeing Super as well. Super was probably a pretty good buy today, because they've got quite a lot coming on.
So, Pumpeye.
Yep.
As I was drawing ABC before we started this, remember you were there?
Yep.
We were around here.
Yes.
I told you I'm expecting it to get here.
Yep.
And I put an order here just in case. I missed it by what is that? What is like? Tell me what that is. That's
that's not a lot.
Not a lot. Anyway, guys. So yeah, shit happens. So this is my wave count for SHIB, and according to my wave count, we finished wave 5. We've actually corrected, and we should be continuing on up, unless
that's
something.
Funny.
Yeah.
That it should be continuing up. So actually, the person who requested the SHIB chart, or the SHIB wave count, is in the chat, and they said that they want to sell it soon, depending on your wave count. Well, judging by that, as long as Bitcoin doesn't go down much lower and the hype continues, then maybe just, no financial advice, but maybe you should just keep hold of it for the time being, because you never know where this thing could go. If it's starting a whole new wave count from the beginning, then actually it could go completely bananas. Now, I don't know what time you bought, or what point you bought, but there was somebody who was in our chat earlier on the live video, and who's a friend of mine, who bought SHIB in February, and they have held ever since. I know that they took some profits just before, literally on my advice, took some profits just before we dipped. I said, look, at that point, he invested $210 at the beginning, including gas fees, and just before we dipped, when SHIB was at its previous all-time high, I said, look, I really think that you should take some profits, because at that point it was worth $600,000, which he then did, and I'm pretty sure that he bought the dip, actually, and that he bought back in, and he confessed to me the other day that occasionally he goes in and he has a look and sees how far up it's gone, and he'll withdraw $200,000 and then just let it carry on. Which just goes to show that crypto really is crazy, and you can make some not only life-changing money, but generational wealth, sometimes even just off a fluke. Which is incredible.
Oh, so Frank, you might be getting $200,000 soon.
From his dad.
That could be his dad. You don't know.
I wish.
No, Amber's just said that she manages a portfolio for her ex and bought him $100 of SHIB a few months ago, but never bought anything for herself. She's very salty. Wow.
She should get back with him just to get his SHIB, and then.
So Amber, if you were married, then maybe you could take this a stage further.
No, we're not married. I'm not, yeah. But I've got all his passwords. I could very easily transfer it to my account, I guess.
But what you should do.
You realize you're
$100.
live, right? You realize you're live, right?
Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Holy shit, guys. I'm pissed off. I missed it by, oh my God.
See, Bilo, this is why I always say front run the market. Don't put your buys and your sells at the technical target. Put them just below or just above, because you never know. You could be slightly wrong. You could be just that tiny little bit out. There could be other people who are slightly front running the market, and you're better off selling that little bit before and missing a little bit of profit, or buying that little bit before and not getting quite so much profit through that, I think.
I wouldn't think about it too much, because remember how much fun Bilo had just before this started? Looking like a pig.
That's very true. So nobody will be able to see this on YouTube, but Bilo was having a little bit of fun at the beginning. He was the granddad that had just discovered that you could put masks on your face and mustaches and pig ears and things, and he was having great fun.
So whoever wants to know about SHIB, look, we have a very clear ABC. It works on multiple levels, because if you go from wave 5 down to A up to B, it's a 1-to-1 extension. It's perfect. It also happens to be, if you look at the overall wave count from the beginning, I'll just get rid of these, from here all the way up to here. It also happens to be close to the 382 region, which is an ideal target for wave for the ABC. So yeah.
Bilo, can you just check from that tip, the all-time high just now, down to the C correction, where we come back up to?
You want me to do an extent?
Yeah, please.
A retracement from 5 to C?
Yeah. And are we at the 618?
Yes.
Thought so.
I'm keeping my
theory
order
on
here.
Shiba.
I'm keeping my order here because
You never know.
you never know. But this was my target right before we were here.
What were you saying, Frank?
What Pumpeye said is definitely true. Is put it a little bit higher if you want to get in. And yeah. Anyway, Frank, you were saying?
Yeah, my theory on Shiba today is that because the market is down and it started a bit in the green, a lot of people just went out of the technical points of the big coins and just went into Shiba as a bit of a play, as a kind of red day alternative. And I think that when the markets turn green again, actually Shiba will retrace. At least that's my theory. Nothing to do with technicals, just the fact
plausible.
that it's been kind of used. Yeah.
I think they were listing a few places as well, from what I gather. I listened to a few other YouTube videos this morning, and I think they were listing a few places, which could have had something to do with it. The same with Arve as well. Bilo, can you bring up the Arve chart quickly? Because Arve's been a bit of a funny one today. Lend. Or formerly known as Lend. AA. Because that has actually been a funny one today.
So I would call that AVE.
Yeah, it's Arve. So Arve popped this morning, big time. Actually, it was up just as much as if not more than Shiba was at one point, and then it's retraced again as Bitcoin's put some pressure on. If you go to the 2 hour. It'll probably show, it'll probably show it a little bit more clearly what's happened.
Sorry, you just want to point out this scam wick here?
That fairly huge pump. No, it wasn't a scam wick. It was listing on several exchanges. So there was a lot of buying pressure, and then clearly quite a lot of selling pressure as Bitcoin corrected as well.
Okay.
Because that's quite a lot. That's a good 50+%, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nice. Sorry, back to your FTM chart.
No, just wanted to show everybody an example of when you have wave 3 at risk of being the lowest, the shortest wave, then you know where wave 5 should end. So in this case, wave 1 was longer than wave 3, and therefore wave 5 was about to get longer than wave 3. And for that reason, and for that reason only, you can very reasonably come to the conclusion that it's about to drop, and that's what happened. Happened right here. That's all. Just wanted to show you the example.
You actually absolutely nailed that target, didn't you?
Yeah, but like I said, it's not common. So whenever you see, guys, forget, you don't need to know Elliott Wave inside out. Just if ever you see a situation where wave 3 is about to become the shortest wave, short wave 5 immediately. You will have success. Unless you didn't count the waves properly. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But if you counted the waves, if you counted the waves properly, it is going to be a successful trade. And it doesn't happen often. And when you do see it, if you're comfortable counting waves, jump on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just going back to looking at this phantom made me think about Shiba again.
Yes, I'll go back to Shiba.
I'm sorry. I was listening to Scott Melker earlier, the Wolf of Wall Street, and everybody in his chat literally was just going Shiba, 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 and he was going, "Listen, I'm not interested in Shiba," and it's just, he clearly is not a fan, and he was getting quite angry about it. Sorry.
Yeah, poor guys. No worries. I don't have an issue. I can't tell you off because it's like telling my dad to shut up. So,
wow.
Not that I would. Anyway, so my point here is that zooming out on this wave count here, yeah, I get that that's a correction ABC done, but surely that's not the correction of the big 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So really, we're not going upwards. This should be a bigger ABC.
Yeah, I mean, you're only on the
point
15 minute there, Bilo.
Yeah, it's okay. It doesn't really matter. I want to show the whole count. I mean, it's still not that far away. 23rd of October. So understand that there's all this that happened before, right?
Yeah.
This is not being counted. I didn't do an overall count. I just started.
No,
with the
I
count.
understand,
Yeah.
but the count of the yellow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Would you say that ABC is for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
It could be, because a typical target for an ABC after a wave, let's call it wave 2, is around 382 from bottom to top. Okay. It doesn't have to stop there. I'm not saying that this is where it stops. And to Pumpeye's point earlier of front running the market, I thought at 382 I would be, because it should retrace more because of the parabolic nature of the ride up. It's parabolic, okay? And normally a parabolic wave like this retraces a lot more. But in this particular case, there is and will be continuation of so much FOMO, and it just has to start again for it to continue. So I don't think we'll retrace much now.
Gotcha.
It's really because of that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was just wondering.
Yeah.
You can go back to a proper crypto now.
No, okay. But just keep in mind, Frankie, 23rd of October. Today we're the 27th. It's not. I mean, we're talking about major waves, but it's not major waves. It's just pumped like crazy. But in essence, it's such a small time frame for such a pump.
It's interesting that you say we can go back to a proper crypto, Frank, because I mean, realistically, Shiba Inu is probably the crypto that has been talked about the most, apart from Bitcoin, during this bull run. It really is.
I know it.
In fact, it's probably been talked about more than Bitcoin because of the amount of TikTok videos and stuff that there are. Insane.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
But just to go back to what Frank was saying, and I don't want to mislead anybody, because corrections, and I did start by saying corrections are the most difficult waves to analyze, because there's 5 different types, and then there's subtypes in each type. But the most basic correction there is, and I'm not going to make a lesson on this because I'm not an expert, but I'll tell you what I do know, is like we said, it's an ABC, right? That's a correction. And then in this ABC, the most basic form of an ABC is a 5-wave, 3-wave, 5-wave. This is basic. Then there's something called 333, where inside the ABC, instead of having 535, you actually have another ABC, and then another ABC, and so on. But then you have other kinds where you can have ABC here, and then another ABC here. And then for the last wave, you end up with a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now we have another type of correction. Then there's other kinds of corrections that are called flats.
And then there's something. Just to stop you for a second, that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then is that counted in the same kind of wave count as if you were counting a bullish wave?
Well, bullish or bearish?
Bullish. So it would have the same characteristics, i.e., the 3 can't be the shortest wave.
It's the same thing, whether it's bullish or bearish, the rules are the same. Even if you were going down, the characteristics remain the same, that one can't cross over another. It's the same thing.
Sure.
It doesn't matter the direction, okay? And so aside from this, and I learned this really quite recently, and I remember having a conversation about this with either Frank or Pampal, how wave B can never be higher than the top. Well, actually, in a running flat, wave B can go higher than wave 5. before it continued back down, which is crazy. And it's actually, it happens. It's called a running flat. The point is that corrections can get very complicated. And so while I have a very perfect looking ABC here, it could very well be that this is an ABC followed by an ABC followed by an ABC and we're not finished, or an ABC followed by an ABC followed by a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or the running flat scenario where we have an ABC that goes higher than 5, making everybody think we're in a new wave cycle and let's go, and then it corrects back down. So corrections are the most difficult waves in Elliott waves to analyze and understand. Sorry to discourage everyone, but it is discouraging. It's very complicated. So anyway, I'm trying. I'm trying to learn, and whenever I learn something, I'll let you guys know.
Well, that's why we've got you, Bilo, because we don't know it, but actually you're taking the time to learn it, and there's quite a few people who will be listening who are learning from your teachings and also who are gaining from the knowledge that you present to us every week. We've had a request for some TA on XMR Monero.
Okay.
I'll tell you something funny while you're looking for it, Bilo. I was so happy the other day. It was yesterday. I'd been looking at the charts, looking at the daily, and I'd seen that there was a buy signal on the daily on market cipher B. Just not obviously a bottoming out kind of green dot signal, but one of the momentum wave green signals, and it was a buy signal on the daily. And I was thinking, yes, that's brilliant. I can go and figure this out in a chart and send it out to everybody and tell them we're all going to be great and we're going up. And I got home and that green dot had turned into a red dot and we were correcting.
Wow. Yeah, things change very fast in crypto, that's for sure.
They do.
But it's that volatility that makes it very profitable for day traders. Guys that are able to sit on their computers all day and look for these opportunities, and that they do nothing else but day trade and leverage trade. Obviously you have to know what you're doing, but you can make really good money.
So I actually I bought the dip on some AOA, and I bought some the other day as well. I noticed that the chart looked like it was about to explode, and it did. And actually, if I'd have been at home, I could have traded Aurora very, very well over the last 2 days, because it's literally been pumping up and down, up and down, up and down. It's gone up a good 50% each time it's come up, and that's every day. It's gone up 50%, come down 50%. Today, yesterday, and the day before. Nice trading coin.
Yeah,
that's a good hint actually to you, Bilo, because I know you like to do a bit of trading. If you want a coin that you can quite happily trade, then I think that would be a good one to choose. It's on KuCoin. No financial advice, of course.
Thank you, sir. I'll take a look. I don't really have much to say about Monero. It does not look like a very pretty chart. You suppose you could make the case that there could be some inverse head and shoulders here and there, but just don't like the way it looks.
It looked like there was a nice trend line though, going from that wick to and it's bouncing off that trend line.
Yeah.
4 touches by the looks of it.
You could kind of, fudge a little bit here, and so you have this kind of like inverse head and shoulders, but it's not very clean. You can do it from here. You could make the case that the reason it fell here is because of this bearish divergence. You can't really make the case for bullish divergence because these 2 points are very close to each other. Yeah, it's just, that doesn't look good. Honestly, it doesn't look great. And one thing, guys, this is where everything went to shit, okay? Bitcoin, and dragged everything down with it. And it's really important to gauge your investments by what happened from here to where we are today. Bitcoin is here, right? So Bitcoin went above, Ethereum went above, Solana's close, Fathom went above, Cadena went above. So, like at a certain point, I know you're holding a project because you like the project, you believe in the dynamics of the project and the fundamental analysis of the Monero, secret, coin, whatever. I don't know, you just kind of, unless you know something that I don't, and that there's something big coming, maybe there's an opportunity cost to holding certain projects at a certain point in time. And I don't know enough about Monero to give you advice on a fundamental analysis basis, but looking at this chart and looking at all the other charts we normally talk about, and we talk about them because, not just because, they're coins we like, but because they're doing well. They've performed. They've gone up. They've matched at least the performance of Bitcoin in terms of reaching or even going beyond all-time highs, if like Ethereum as well. So sometimes it's, nobody likes to sell at a loss. And again, I don't know enough about Monero to give any advice, but sometimes it's good to just maybe contemplate, why am I holding this? And would my money not be better served invested somewhere else? Just a general statement. I don't mean this for Monero. I do not know enough about Monero to give any advice on it. The chart doesn't look great. It just looks like it's, ranging. Even there's no clear range. It's just not something that I personally can give you trading advice on. This is fundamentals that's going to move it, nothing else. There's news coming, it'll move. Other than that, there's nothing TA-wise that prompts me to say I want to buy. Unless you want to just trade, buy, sell, buy kind of thing, because that seems to be a bit what's happening. But even there, it's not clear cut. Sorry, I can't give you more.
I actually think that
Yeah,
perhaps the
that's
reason for... Sorry, Frank, go for it.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you did. Maybe it was
sorry.
Bilo. I actually think that it's possible that the reason why it's ranging is because there was the bit of talk about regulation on privacy coins, and so therefore it's not being traded quite as much, and nobody's quite so bullish on it because there's that threat of the fact that the SEC might come down heavily on them.
Maybe. Is Secret Secret? Is that the same kind of coin?
Not sure. You should probably know more about that, given you did the AMA.
Well, because Secret leverages Monero technology, so I'm thinking that it is in some ways, and it's doing well. So I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
I think that was Jamie that was about to say something.
All right. Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, it doesn't help. One of the lead devs got arrested recently as well. And there is a lot of kind of talk about regulation. So I was interested to see what the technical analysis was saying. So I appreciate that.
Sorry, I couldn't help more. There's nothing really obvious, honestly, on the chart. Neither bad nor good. It's just a bit bland right now, the chart.
Yeah. The only thing they've pushed out recently is atomic swaps, but it's still a bit flaky. It's in test.
Mm-hmm. I heard some news yesterday or today, I can't remember. I like Moon River. I made no secret of that. Moon River is about to deploy close to $400 million, incentivizing its utilization. And it's already being utilized by several projects, Sushi Swap being one of them. They're about to give out $15 million in tokens for Sushi Swap liquidity providing rewards on Moon River. That's from the $400 million. So that, news like that generally propels projects to a whole new level. That's what propelled other projects to new levels, is this incentivization of holding the token and farming and liquidity providing and whatnot. So, Moon River, I would definitely keep my eyes on Moon River, and it's still new, still a low market cap relative to what it's doing. It's leveraging EVM on Polkadot, and very cheap and very fast transactions. Moonbeam is going to do the same, and Moonbeam to Moon River is DOT to Kusama. So the same relationship, and that DOT is going to be more expensive, more serious, and Kusama is the expect chaos, we'll make mistakes, but we'll learn. Same thing, same principle. So I would keep my eye on Moon River and buy the dips. My advice is that, again, not financial advice, but my advice. Call it what you may.
It's what you're going to do.
Phantom, amazing. We just had a correction. We'll see if it corrects more. Cadena has a long way to go, guys. Cadena it's like, how do I put this? I just did a bit of math the other day on Cadena. I actually tweeted about it or put it in TA or I don't know, somewhere. Cadena, when you look at the market cap of Cadena, and you know what, you don't want to be too aggressive with comparing market caps, because you can't just compare it to Ethereum because it hasn't scaled as much as Ethereum and doesn't have exactly the same amount of mutability and use cases. But let's just take 25% of the market cap of Ethereum and compare it to Cadena. 25%. Cadena has 100x to go before it reaches 25% of Ethereum's market cap. 100x to go. I'm going to repeat it. 100x to go from here before it reaches just a quarter of Ethereum's market cap. And 15x to go from here to reach a quarter of Solana's market cap. Food for thought, guys. We're always looking for, what do we invest in? Sometimes look at the use case, look at what the project does, and check the market cap. It's so much more important than the price.
Yeah.
Obviously, take into account if there's going to be a huge amount of tokens that are going to dump on the market. You have to weigh that. In this case, there is a release schedule for tokens that are not released yet. It's about 2.5 million tokens per year. So for me, it's like a no-brainer that Cadena is a long-term investment. Okay, I urge you, not urge is a strong word, I suggest you guys look into Cadena, understand what it's all about. Cadena is essentially Bitcoin, but much faster and much cheaper. It takes Bitcoin, which works in series. Think of it as blocks in series, and it takes those blocks, puts them in parallel, and works through them in parallel, making it much faster and much cheaper. That's essentially Cadena, and its security is proof of work, just like Bitcoin's. You're going to hear a lot more about it because it's still not known, and there's a huge fan base for Cadena. It's going to be one of those projects that even today, even though it's gone to what it's gone to price-wise, it's not too late, guys.
Would I be right in saying that it's actually faster than Solana? I'm pretty sure it is.
So Solana has two metrics for speed. One of them is transactions per second, and one of them is blocks. And I think on the TPS, if I'm not mistaken, Solana is faster, but on the blocks, Cadena is faster. I don't know. Solana's come under a lot of scrutiny recently because of, some network failures, some issues with they were actually bogged down. The network was down itself, but at the same time, there is something called Break Solana. It's an actual official Solana headquartered backed project, which is to challenge developers and users to overheat the system and break it so that they can improve it. So I consider this recent breakdown as part of the Break Solana experiment. And they've learned from it, and I think they'll continue to improve from there. I mean, if I just take a look at the Solana chart, we didn't talk about it. It's one of my favorite projects.
You read my mind. I was literally just about to suggest that.
Yeah. Here we go. So, okay. It's been a while we're on this call, guys. I'm not gonna, getting into the explanations too much, but just to tell you that this is my target. My short-term target for Solana is somewhere here, 275.
By short term, do you mean this bull run or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like at the same time as Bitcoin hits the 80 to 90,000 levels. Okay.
Yep.
What did I want to say? So there was a target that I had here, which we met. Very simple target. There was you see it here, right? It's a rising triangle, right? You see it?
Yep.
It's very simple, guys. This sometimes TA is too simple. It's you take the distance from the bottom of the triangle to the top in a rising triangle, and you superimpose it on top, and that's your target, and that's exactly where we hit.
Those arrows are too thin. They're not anywhere near bullish or bearish enough, I'm afraid.
Sorry?
You need big, fat, scary red arrows for bearish patterns and big, fat, amazing arrows, green arrows for bullish patterns.
Yeah. So it could very well be here that wave 5 was a lot shorter than expected. I didn't notice this up until now. I haven't looked at this chart in a while. So I got wave 3 here. I was expecting wave 5 here. We came down for wave 4, and this has to be wave 5 because it couldn't be. Let's say this was wave 5, 1, 2. Well, 2 can't go below the start. So now I have to adjust my chart and say this is wave 5 of wave 3. And we're in a correction, which I have to analyze it later. Has to end somewhere here because I can't go below 1. And if you notice, it's like right at 1. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Okay. Look at this.
Nice.
It's like a millimeter away. Okay. And wave 4 can't go below wave 1. Unless we're in a leverage market, which we are. But if it happens, and it rarely happens, it's a wick, okay? So to me, this should be the bottom for wave 4. And if we go lower and we sustain lower, this is wave failure. This wave count is no longer good, and we have to start a new count. And the only reason it would go lower is if Bitcoin pulls everybody down with it. That would be the only reason it goes lower. From a technical perspective, you can't and shouldn't go lower than where we are right now. Where wave 4 retraced to. And now, since wave 3 got to here, and I was expecting it to go here, my wave 5 is going to end up being somewhere here. Not a big difference, but yeah, it's going to be at around 260. So this is my adjustment.
Nice. So still looking at 260. There's people that are still saying that Solana could well go to $1,000 during this bull run.
Very easily, and I'll tell you why.
It's only 5x from here.
Take a look at Ethereum. Compare Ethereum to Solana. What are the differences in your opinion?
Ethereum's been around for quite a lot longer. For one.
Okay, but aside from how long it's been around, in terms of what you can do with Ethereum and what you could do with Solana, do you see any differences?
Yeah, you can do more with Solana because it's so much quicker.
Okay, so...
Although having said that, currently there isn't quite as much demand on the network for Solana as there is on Ethereum, which I think is one of those things that we won't know until we get to that point. And so it might seem like there's a lot of other networks, a lot of layer ones that are potentially going to be, as people call it, Ethereum killers. But are they going to be struggling just as much when they've got the same amount of network activity as Ethereum has?
Well, Ethereum's struggling with its network activity. That's why we have such high gas prices.
Indeed.
On the other hand, you're able to do something in Solana in a microsecond, and it costs you pennies.
And the problem is there's not many things to do, guys. Like, I'm not an ETH-malist. Lewis is not here. I don't have to keep him happy, but it's like The way I see it is like, sure, you can take the, the motorway with no traffic, that, or the, the road with loads of traffic. The problem is that the road with loads of traffic that's congested takes you to the cool place where everyone wants to go, and the motorway takes you to the fucking desert. It's like, yeah, you can, like, it takes you nowhere. And this is effectively, not unfortunately, because I'm happily with my ETH stack, but this is what the layer twos still lack to tap into the actual value and the services. Because the reason why people still keep using ETH is because it has content and activity and things being built on it a lot more. And I'm not saying than others, but this whole first mover advantage clearly has put them in a path where it's like, yeah, they've got a destination.
Definitely, Ethereum is a blue chip. It's not going to go anywhere. Nothing will make Ethereum disappear. It'll always be there. But there's a lot of competition. And I think Ethereum would be doing a lot more today if it wasn't for that competition in terms of value. Okay. Solana, using the term ETH killer, there's no ETH killer because ETH has its own thing. But Solana has attracted a lot of development, has attracted a lot of projects, and it has a very vast and very rapidly growing ecosystem for a project that's barely been out 2 years. I mean, just go and look at the ecosystem that's on Solana, and it's amazing for something that's just been around for 2 years. I mean, relatively unheard of a year ago. Anyway, the reason we're talking about this is, again, market cap. Solana is about 7x away from Ethereum's market cap. So 200 times 7, if Ethereum doesn't move, is $1,400.
There's a chart that I want to show you about.
That's if Ethereum doesn't move, which we all know it will. Sorry, Frank.
Yeah, no, talking about the correlation between that. I mean, people are saying that generally the fractal of Bitcoin, of Ethereum right now is following exactly or eerily similar to Bitcoin in the previous bull run.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a great indicator to see. It has been so far, and it continues to be, about where we're still heading, even in ETH terms.
Absolutely. I mean, look, going back to my ETH chart here. I mean, it's up. I mean, we're going up.
Can I just tell you something interesting there? Raoul Paul was saying that the Solana chart is actually pretty much identical to how the Ethereum chart was at this point in its adoption.
Exactly. So they're kind of like each a cycle back of the other, behind the other.
So I'm not suggesting that you don't sell and try and maximize your bags, but hold your Solana, guys, because if it's going to do what Ethereum has, then it could make you very rich.
And it answers your question if it can hit 1,000.
Indeed. Yep.
I think it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Solana also has Solana sunglasses.
Oh my God, look at this, guys. That would have been a nice dip to buy.
Wow.
Shit. Fuck, you know what? Sometimes just putting some low buy orders, you get lucky.
Yeah.
The stop makes sense.
So interestingly, on Bitcoin at the moment, on the hourly chart, there is a yellow X for manipulation that is on the current candle, and there's also a sell signal on market cipher B. The stochastic RSI is also looking like it's potentially about to cross over.
So it's supposed to go down, saying?
Yeah, that's what the chart's currently suggesting. Although it
I was
does
saying earlier,
it does happen that it changes on the current hour.
Yeah. And I was saying earlier, it's supposed to go up.
Yeah. Flick market cipher A on Bilo and go to the hourly instead of the...
That doesn't look pretty.
No. And the previous one we saw quite a drop. The current candle's actually green at the moment, but that doesn't mean anything. So there's probably quite a few people that are bringing up leverage trades at the moment, and so we could see a bit of whipsawing action.
It's funny because the oscillators tell a very different story. I don't see any bearish divergence.
No, there isn't.
I hate this yellow X though.
Does anybody have any other requests, any other explanations? Would you like me to discuss the parachain auctions or anything else I could be of assistance with?
Go on, show me your view on ETH, on FET, before I go to bed.
FET. Never heard of it. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Let me go to a brand new chart. My FET is still...
Yeah, it got listed on Bitfinex.
My FET is still held hostage by FET.
Oh.
I don't have it. It's like, I don't know where it is. It's like I have no access to it.
You mean it's staking?
It's not staking. It's like I have to do this thing I told you last time where I have to share the keys or something. I don't know. I have to look into it.
Yeah, it's been moved to mainnet. I see what you mean.
But it shows you how worried I am.
Yeah, very much.
You've actually just given some vagrant in another country your keys, Bilo.
Yeah. Why is it showing up?
You've fallen victim to a scammer, and you're not even bothered.
Yeah, he's just gone. It's just FET. Fuck it.
Quite on the contrary, I'm saying it's FET. I'm not worried. It's gonna go up. I don't like to sell things that like to go up. Okay, we have a very nice looking 1, 2, 3, or on the way up to 3 at the very least. Can we all agree this could be a 1? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
I mean, wave 1, let's say, would be up there.
Where's my waves? Where's my waves? Damn it! They were just here.
Frank, you'd probably enjoy trading Aurora as well with its current price action. You should take a look at the chart if you're at your PC.
Oh, I'm not. I'm looking at charts at the same time. I'm just looking at below. I'm not day trading anymore.
Oh, you'd love it
this year.
I think Frank wants to go back to
up
Greece.
and down every day.
Frank is night trading.
You know, Mark, I spent 2 months in Greece this year. I'm very lucky.
Go back.
Fuck me, yeah. At the drop of a hat, I tell you.
I would not fuck you at the drop of a hat. Sorry. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this is where it gets a bit confusing. Okay, so if wave 2 is supposed to be an ABC correction, this is where it gets really confusing. So imagine you were trading this. Okay, we could easily count, and I'll count them. I'll put this in yellow just so we could see the differences immediately. I want to focus on wave 1. So this is where it gets shitty. So it doesn't really matter. Start wherever you want, okay? But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? This in white. I'll make it minuscule so we see them, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm supposed to have an ABC after that, right?
Yeah. Can you not put the 2 right to the left of that? Where you have the 2, or
No,
is it a lower
I don't know
low?
what my, hold on. I don't know what my problem is. It's fine. Sorry. For some reason, in 4 hour, it looked different. Hold on. One, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. No, it's okay. Sorry about that. It's okay. I'm good. It works. So A, B, C. Oh, fuck.
Language, Timothy.
Sorry, bud. Let's put this in here.
That's right. You've all been doing it.
Yeah, sorry.
So now we're
That's
doing
gonna
wave
be really rude
2 to
for a
3.
joke.
So you see this here?
Yep.
Yeah,
This-
that's what I've been staring at for the last 2 fucking
Well,
months.
remember what I was telling you about? Remember what I was telling you about corrections? This here is called a double 3 correction, and it's the most complicated correction you can have in Elliott Wave theory.
Thanks,
Okay.
fair.
And don't even ask me to try to explain it to you because I can't. But I could tell you that a double 3 correction, this what you're seeing here is the most complicated kind of correction.
It's the most complicated type of correction that is alternatively also known as accumulation.
Yeah.
Double 3 Elliott
Does
Wave.
it also mean green dildos coming?
Here, look. Here's
yeah.
a double 3. Here it is. That's what it looks like.
Which way does it break up? No, yeah, that one.
Well, you want one
Choose the
coming
one where it
from
goes up.
Yeah, choose the one that goes up.
Yeah, this is it.
Pumpeye, you owe me some beer, by the way. That picture you sent yesterday
Yeah.
made me spit my beer out.
So, Frank, you want to count these waves? You're coming from the upside. You have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have an ABC. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have an ABC. Then you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ABC, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you start the new one.
But that goes down. Like, what about the one on the left?
No, but that's what you have because you're coming from here, right? Look, we'll go back. Look, you're coming from here. You're coming from here.
Yeah.
And then you went down and you're doing all this. So if you go back to, let me move this guy. If you go back to this,
Listen, Bilo.
back to this.
Enough
You're
of
coming
this nonsense. When moon?
from here. It's exactly this, Frank. Here.
Right, I see what you mean.
So this is supposed to go down more.
No, not having it.
Unless this is a truncated wave 5. If this is a truncated wave 5, then it starts here, not here.
I see what you mean, but I don't see the.
Can you
like,
make it go up instead?
Yeah, if you try to draw it in, what happens in that direction?
I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna draw. This happens, by the way, a truncated wave 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we try to do the wave based on this, okay, that's what I want. So first I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be my A. So let's look for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call it this. Let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it fits. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is my A. So I'm gonna go now to Elliott triple combo here. That's the one. So it's this going back to here. A, B, W. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3 for the B. You know what? Let me not put that in yet. It's too soon. Okay, so here 1, 2, 3. There's the B. So A, B, And then the C is none of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now this is A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This here would be my W. And then 1, 2, 3 for my X. This was my W here, I said, right? 1, 2, 3 is my X. Let me just put an X here because I'm about to lose X. And then we said this was W. And then this was B and then A. Okay. We said this was B. And this here was A.
I mean, it's clear consolidation, but the problem is in Elliott Wave, I have no
Well,
idea what it means.
It's consolidation, but you want to know when you're getting out of it, right? So you want to know when you reach this point. So far, I think I got it to here. Now I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from here, and I don't have it. That's not good.
I think, can you go back to where all the Elliott waves are? That
Here?
For me, it looks like the ones on the middle left, like all those messes.
This?
Yeah, for me, it's like clear sideways like that, like the top two there.
This one here, right?
Yeah, that one, the top two of that.
But that's not Elliott wave though.
Is it not? Or the top left even. It
This
looks more like that.
Yeah, but
coming from the top, which actually would imply that it will break down.
But that's what I'm doing right now. Okay,
so it doesn't have to make a lower low.
No,
like
it doesn't have to make a lower low. I just have to count waves. I need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave in the end.
Okay. Then let's build that out.
So here,
if it makes it go up.
That's why I need
it will actually. It looks like it's going to break down.
Look, Frank, it happens after the X, right? I needed to find the X. Okay. So where is it? Here. Sorry. So here's my X. Now, if I do this,
it's exactly what's happening. Fuck, it's going to break down.
Now it's an A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E, and then we go up. No, it's not going to break down.
No, because look, this is like if it's coming from the bottom.
Ashbat, Frank.
Okay.
No, Frank, it's going up, mate.
If it goes up, I'll buy you all a beer.
Brilliant. Mark especially, because I own
one. B, C, D, E, and now we're supposed to go up.
Perfect. Everybody double down on FET. And then it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy because we've all bought it.
W, X, A, B, C, D, E, up. This is the most complicated form of correction. This is double three. And in the double three, there's 5 different types of double three. That's why it gets complicated.
Okay, before you give me a green boner and go to bed, can we go back again and see if it's not the one that comes from below? Because
it doesn't.
Go back to the image.
It doesn't because
here it has a dotted line coming from the
Frank,
bottom.
Let me explain to you, Frank. You see this last part between the X and the Y?
Yeah.
This could be a 5-3-5 formation, or it could be an ABCDE. It doesn't matter.
Okay, but here you go back to the one that you're looking at there on the left.
This one here.
Oops. And it says triangle.
This one here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dotted line at the end goes upwards. I get it.
It doesn't matter.
Nice.
But it doesn't.
From the left, it comes from the bottom.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, really?
No, it doesn't matter. It's a corrective move. It's called exactly a double three corrective move. So this could have come from on top or it could have come on the bottom. Depends on the direction you're going. In this case, yes. In this case, since we're going up, since wave 5 is finished, technically we could be starting a new wave going down. But if the overall momentum is upwards, and it is upwards because this is 1, 2. We finished wave 5 of wave 3, right? Here, this is wave 3.
Perfect. So let's put that in and see
And
where.
then this would be wave 4.
And now tell me where to take profits.
Okay, don't take profits. Hold.
Not now. I'm in deep with staking anyway. I just
wave
took a
5,
third of it.
I would put a target for wave 5 at around minimum here. Minimum, Frank, would be here. I would put it here, but just to be conservative, if you want to take profits, start taking them here.
You reckon around the 160 to 180, yeah?
Yeah.
I was aiming up, yeah, like from, I need to take profits soon.
What I don't like about all this is that wave 4 retraced more than wave 1. That's what I don't, well, it's at the cusp, right? It went down a little bit here, went back up. But technically, because it's a complex correction structure, and this is what I was referring to earlier when I started this today, saying that corrective waves are extremely complicated. This is stuff like this that I was referring to, because this is one type of a double 3. There's 3 or 4, or I think even 5 different types of double 3 corrective waves. It's really complicated.
Okay, so let's go with
now. Hold on, but this is fun. Let's look for more confirmation. Hold on. Let's go on the daily because we're getting close to the daily candle.
It's one of the most interesting charts, and I've been looking and ignored Fed for a while, but now the way it's developed, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm sorry that I keep on swearing, Mark.
That's okay. Mark loves it when you swear. He told me.
Huh?
But we're shadow banned on YouTube. Unlucky.
Are we?
No, I'm joking. But I do think they take a dim view on it.
Is Amy still here with us?
No, there's nothing I can say here.
Amy, aka Jamie, yes, is still with us.
I'm still there. Right. Not changed the Zoom then.
Well, look at this, Frank. Okay.
I thought we had a hot chick with us. Damn it.
Look at this.
Sorry, man.
You're such a rager.
Send pics anyway.
Send pics.
Amy might just have a
I
cold.
just did, Frank.
Look, Frank, look at RSI, look at MFI, look at the turn, right where we're saying this should be it, okay?
Yeah.
It's turning. I don't know, man. I think this is it.
You're getting me excited. The only thing that I'm trying to, because I agree the wave 4 can't have come down so low. Could it still mean that this is a correction, a complex correction within the bigger wave 3? As in, we haven't finished wave 3, the yellow wave 3.
Could it be that we didn't finish wave 3?
Because
the only reason we could say we didn't finish wave 3 is if we start counting this A from here. Okay, so if we start counting this A from here, going back to the structure, going back to this structure,
because like we said, wave 4 can't come lower than wave 1.
Yes, it shouldn't unless you're in a leverage market. Remember, we said that too?
Yeah, but...
And it doesn't stay, and if it does, it shouldn't stay there long. It should come back out. But let's say we finished wave 5 in a triangle, and that it is a triangle, and that we need to see a zigzag instead of 5 waves in the beginning, because there's all these combinations. I'm just trying to see if this could be just a correction. Okay, let's just forget this for a second. So then,
yeah, it could. Where 4
1,
is
2,
would
3,
be A.
1, 2, 3. So then, yeah. So then this would be 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. So here we have 1, 2, 3, and here's my A. I'm going back to C now, and then 1, 2, 3 for the B.
Yeah, it is 1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3 right there, right?
Then another 1, 2, 3 for W.
I have it right there. Let me just put it in. 1, 2, 3. Here's my B.
B for below.
Okay, here's my B. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. No, which one is it? Sorry. What happened to my here? And then it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the W now. That's where I have a problem. You see, I don't have the 5 ways for the W. I have another 1, 2, 3 for the W. Unless you're that's why it's really complicated. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, a flat and a triangle. Yes, I can have a flat and a triangle. Sorry. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, another 1, 2, 3. I'm just looking at my Elliott Wave notes. What did I want? This 1. Yes, it works out, but 1, 2, 3. Here's my W. And then 1, 2, 3 for the X. One, 2, 3. I could say that's the X here. Doesn't have to be that. Actually works better. Look, connects all the lines. So 1, 2, 3, truncated X.
Yeah.
That actually fits very well. This fits even better. Yes. Moon. So if that's the case, then
I'll buy more FET tonight.
wave 4. This is wave. And
go irresponsibly long on FET.
Oh, I already am.
but it doesn't change wave 5 though, because I took wave 5 in consequence of wave 4. I didn't really care about wave 5 of 5. No, I did not. Did I? Wait.
No. That
Wait.
would make this wave.
No, it doesn't change it. It's okay. Hold on. I just want to see something. This is 1 point what? This is 1.3 would be here. So this would be 1.15 times 1.42. 633. Exactly. Yeah, no, this is wave 5. This is wave 5. I'm locking this.
Yeah, this is pretty good. All right, let's keep that here and see if we can come back end of year at 162, 250.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling.
You know where I first bought FET? Ian Alexander's group. Remember he called it a gem?
Yeah.
But everything he called a gem came from Gem Hunters, I think it was. Gem, what's his name? Odd Gems, sorry.
Odd Gems, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was calling it, yeah, I was buying around like the 10 to 17 cents. I mean, I was shouting at it last year in CS, as you guys know.
Anyway, guys, that's about it for today.
We've just had someone join and you've said that's it. Brilliant.
Okay. No, tell me if they want to see something. I'll be more than happy to accommodate.
want to see everything.
Oh, that's a bit rude, Bilo.
I know. Moron.
Who's
Go on, Bilo, show us something.
Monia? She's
Who joined? What
Arts.
would you like to see?
I think that is Queen Me, by the way, Frank.
Oh, it's our queen. Our queen.
So, are there any
Who?
charts that you want to have a
Who
look at?
joined?
Queen Me?
Ah, Queen Me's here.
She's probably gonna say Shiba.
We've
Monia,
already
come
looked at
stai,
Shiba.
Monia, bella.
Can you look at Shiba and say it's going down?
Actually, wait, let me go back and see Shiba. What's happening?
Just turn it upside down.
Shiba.
So, Adwi Pupsik has actually just said it in Crypto Society that he can't take the figures that Elliott Trades and Chico Crypto are shilling for Solana, Matic, Near, Luna, FTM, AVAX, because basically they're saying that these smart chain contract coins will definitely 4x towards the end of this bull run, and that some of them will do even more than that. And he's saying that you should DCA out as it goes on because you don't want to get wrecked by their hypothetical targets. And I think that is something that is so valuable for people to hear, because there are so many outrageous targets that are put out on crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube where people are saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to 1 million and Link is going to 75,000. We saw in Crypto Society one evening. And there's probably people who are in the groups that have no idea about crypto, really. They've only just started and they're saying, oh, Link's going to $75,000. I'm going to buy loads of it because then I'll be a millionaire by the end of this bull run. And realistically, that's an outrageous amount of money to call it at. And people need to be grounded and actually realise that yes, crypto can really exceed expectations, but you also have to have some logic behind it and realise that market cap has a lot more to do with the outcome than the price action itself in some regards. Unless, of course, it's a deflationary coin. But I mean, Link isn't going to be deflationary enough that it's going to reach $75,000, in my opinion.
I think if you're new, though, and then you see something like that, you would then share it to other people, because then you would be the first one to get them into it as well. Sort of like you tip them off, even though it doesn't happen, but it sort of gives you that feeling like, oh, I told you so, that sort of feeling. For like a month.
Yeah, that's probably what's happened with the Shiba.
There's been a request for Harmony.
And also Parsec.
One.
Bilo, you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Thought you'd gone off to buy more Shiba.
What do you want to look at?
Harmony 1 and Parsec.
Well, I mean, if this was C, like I thought it was, then this is a 1, 2, and we're going up.
Let's see if we get volume on this breakout of the horizontal, because...
Sorry, I just want to keep my eyes on this chart for a minute.
I remember someone saying something about Shiba, how they bought on their phone at some traffic lights.
That's probably not the sort of thing that you want to be admitting to on a live YouTube video.
Yeah. Thanks.
Obviously, he was talking about sitting in front of a lollipop and just like on his sofa, had a lollipop in front of him. It was a set of traffic lights lollipop, and he decided to buy some
guys,
Shiba.
I just want to declare that I just bought some Shiba.
You just bought some Shiba. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So actually,
No, it was his chauffeur.
The current green, the current candle on the hourly on Bitcoin is actually green at the moment. So that might be why we're seeing a little bit of positive action on some other coins.
All right, guys, I'm gonna need to start heading. But as always, it's been a pleasure.
Likewise, Frank. It's nice to have you on.
I'll try and make it from the beginning next time.
He says that now, but then later on, can you believe it's freaking Frank when he said this?
No way, man. Me and Frank are both in FET. We want the same thing.
Frank.
He's a fucking degen.
See, Frank, I'm actually really surprised that you aren't taking some of your stack of FET and you haven't been swing trading it. Given the fact that we have literally been bouncing up and down to pretty much exactly the same targets, you could have made an absolute killing with the amount of FET that you've got. In fact, you've got that much FET that you probably could have affected the price.
I definitely can.
Yeah, I'm obviously kidding,
but the I was staking them all until last month, and I took some out because, well, now it's only us in the call, but I need to pay for a deposit for a house end of the year, so
nice.
I'm taking some out. But
you have to sell a few of your coins. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Makes sense. But what I was going to say is that it was getting to the point where I wasn't able to swing my bags because there wasn't enough liquidity. So putting them in staking on the mainnet, you could get about 25-30% at the time. That was good enough.
Nice.
Good enough returns, yeah.
Owly candle just went green. Just went red.
If anybody wants to see
pig.
If anybody wants to see what I really look like.
Oh my god.
Do I need to go and put my makeup on now? Is that the
Pumpeye, I don't know if you can see. He's got his pig ears on again.
We can. Do you know what, Bilo? Can I dox you on the YouTube?
What is that?
I mean, in this form, yeah. Oink.
Yeah, cool. Hey, Bilo.
As long as you hide the background.
Well, that's not really that possible, but I mean, it is only a wall.
I
mean, if you really want me to, I don't think anybody's going to go on Google Maps and find the geological position of that wall based on what it looks like.
What's hanging on the wall? That's the problem.
I think there's more chance of finding the pig ears, to be honest.
It's what's hanging on the wall that's the problem.
So,
I've been there.
Queen Me has well, it was only a tiny picture anyway, Bilo, so you don't need to worry about that. Queen Me has just said that the contract, because the expiring contract on Friday in Deribit value is 3 billion. So she's closing some recent longs tomorrow.
Okay.
So that could affect price quite a bit. So where are we going from there?
I don't know. I'm just enjoying the filters.
Zora.
Bilo is everyone's favorite granddad with his.
Yes,
filters.
I am. Look at the white hair. It shows I'm a granddad.
I thought Bilo had hair on his head. I didn't realize.
He does.
What
But
are you
it's
trying
only, it's only when you turn his head upside down.
What are you trying to say?
I was trying to say that you're the biggest bear I know.
Can you bring up your Bitcoin chart?
Mine?
Or fucking Binance or something?
I'm enjoying watching Shiba. But okay.
How did you put the filters on?
Ruin my fun.
Frank, not you two.
Do it, Frank. Frank, do it.
Don't worry,
trying to do
I've
it
hidden.
just-
Hey, Frank, go on. Put on a filter. Be a pirate. You can put on a pirate filter.
I'm sick. I'm
Do
doing
it,
it
Frank.
just for you. Is it this stuff? Oh no, that's a heart.
That's just a heart, Frank.
Frank, what's that filter?
That's my face, mate.
Oh, no.
I got something here.
Did you just give him the finger on live video?
No. I got something in my eye.
You look like Ali G.
Do you know what? I was
So-
thinking exactly the same thing. I've got some brilliant Borat stickers that are going to be spammed in Frank's inbox later.
There you go. That's because I live in Italy now.
Frank, you look like you're trading in a toilet. Are you in a toilet right now?
Oh, I like this.
That actually almost looks realistic.
That makes me feel safe now.
Put the pirate on. Let's see the pirate.
Which one's the pirate? This
Pirate
is cute.
Frank.
I like you. You like I?
I like you. You like the USA. Hey, I hope you're cutting this video off here, buddy boy.
It's a bit too late for that, pal. Mind your hat while you're drinking that. So we did actually have a quick request for losing the mask, and Harmony won.
From who?
From Queen Me. Harmony won.
She's gonna have to show herself.
And what was it?
I can't.
Oh, PRQ.
Come on, Queen Me. We've all seen you on Twitter. Show yourself.
No, I can't.
Perché?
I'm in my pajama, che
Oh,
cavolo.
perfetto.
Che cavolo.
Non va bene.
Raga,
Nice
io
to
devo
meet you
andare,
guys.
però.
Nice to meet you.
too.
Nice to meet you.
You
Nice
too.
to meet you.
Likewise.
I'm a bit shy, so I'll listen to you guys. I want to hear about these two coins, which I think they have a very big value. And I
Which
think
ones?
you guys should invest in it too.
Which ones? Tell us, Bella.
No financial
Harmony
advice, of course.
and Park.
Okay, we'll
Park.
start with
I
Harmony.
never know how to pronounce it.
Parsec.
Parsec. Yes, Parsec.
Parsec.
Parsec, I
just
think
PRQ.
Parsec, it will go to Binance anytime soon because what they do is insane.
Yeah, Elio's been bullish on.
How do you spell
on-
Pars? P-A-R-S?
No, it's well, yeah, or
Wait.
PRQ.
On Tether. Okay. Let's take a look.
Pumpeye, when you asked for the price on Harmony using the price spot, and I sent the picture of the van with Harmony, that actually happened. I didn't search Google.
That's
remember
a
that?
destiny.
So I think it's a sign. And he was pumping his tires.
Is that a breakout and retest? I was actually saying this
I don't
morning.
know.
If you go from wick to wick, does that hit that bottom wick and then we've retested? Because it's quite a steep.
Yeah,
drop. If you go from that third wick to the left, from the top of that.
You can take it here. You could take it here.
No, I mean if you go back to those two
Here?
big candle spikes.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Biolo's
The first
face
one
when
of
he's
those three.
concentrating.
Go to the first one of those three and just draw a line from the top of that first one. No. Left, 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 left. There's three big spikes. Yep. 1, 2, 3. If you go from there
Yep.
and you put it across,
Yep.
how does that intersect with the with those candles on the right hand side with the most recent price action?
Not very well.
Oh, no, it doesn't. Does it?
When was this listed, by the way?
I'm trying to decide where the cup and handle starts more than anything, because you could have a cup and handle here that's gone above and failed. You can have it here and it's being retested, or you can have it here, which is the nicest place to have it. And it
Which
works
means that
on
it's not
multiple
invalidated.
levels. Because look, I mean, you can even have it as a head and shoulders. You can have it any which way you like. And then if you try to figure out the extension, or not the extension, but the retracement, it actually makes sense.
It's on the 618.
Let me just bring it down to
Or near
where
enough.
it's supposed to be.
No, not quite.
No, it does, because look, I took it to up, sorry. No, I took it up there. Anyway, if I count waves, it would be two, three, four, five. So One, two, three, four, five. One, two. So this would be a 5-wave up to here, coming back down. This is, to me, a cup and handle or inverse head and shoulders waiting to happen. And the support is at 6.8705. If you look at your VPVR, it's exactly there. So it actually looks very sexy right now because it's going to do maybe something like this. It's going to do something like this here. And then go back up and test, probably go back another time and then zoom up. And you even have the bullish divergence here on RSI. You don't have it on MFI, but you have it on RSI. I would want to see it come back down to here and then go up.
To me, the whole chart looks like an Adam and Eve. Like, I don't know if it actually just got listed, what was it, in May? But there's effectively...
Yeah, it's a new chart.
Aggressive Adam with the Eve. It's like
yeah,
perfect.
It's a new chart. It's a new chart in June.
Yeah, like that's what I'm seeing. And that's also huge volumes yesterday and the day before. So...
Yeah, but then there's a dump. But look at what's interesting is look at the size of the dump and then look at the volume bars.
Ooh.
That's why you have divergences. But that's why you have divergences. Bullish divergences.
This is not looking bad, actually.
No, it isn't. It really isn't. It doesn't have to even go back down a little bit more. It is on support. I mean, look, you have support here. This is a very dense area.
Okay, so Queen Me's actually writing in the chat, and she says, I'm going to go in big because I believe a lot in this coin that it's going to be massive. If they do what they say, then it's 100x lol.
I don't know what Parsec does.
So, interestingly, Bilo, flick to coin market cap and let's see, or coin gecko, and let's see what the market cap currently is.
Oh,
sorry, guys. I left by accident.
It's 98 million. And circulating supply is just under 50% of the total supply. So you'd want to see the release schedule, the remaining tokens release vesting schedule. You'd want to see that, see what it looks like. And maybe tokens are getting released now. Maybe that's why it's dumping.
How many X is that up from the bottom? I know that Parsec actually went down really low. So
how many X's from where?
From the bottom. It's already, what, 42X from the bottom, nearly. 41X from the bottom.
I bet you there's releases. That's why it's dumping.
Can you go to the max chart?
$250.
And the all-time low was 0.1 of a penny.
But this is doesn't show this way on KuCoin. This is KuCoin? Yeah, it's KuCoin. It doesn't show this way on KuCoin. So obviously just got listed here, but it made its higher highs before. Probably went down from 250 in April. Let me see. Yep, April. So this is the Bitcoin crash. Continued to go down. You can't help. I mean, look, you have even a head and shoulders here, a bigger head and shoulders.
Oh wow,
Invert-
this looks really strong
a
from this
bigger
perspective.
inversion of shoulders. This area here is important resistance.
It actually looks like a pretty much perfect technical target as well with the head and shoulders.
And then if I was to go back here, so this would be this would be the head. So what are we looking at here? Let's see. We're looking at, let's just take it to here. We're looking at $2, guys. 180.
Wrong neckline though, actually, Bilo. If you're taking it as that, roughly the neckline.
Yeah, I
would
wanted to be a bit conservative just because these wicks, I don't know, just, but even 180, it's very good. I mean, in $1 today and
Yeah.
$1.80, it's pretty good. Because here, look, what's the price at? You can calculate it. It's 0.34, and here it's 0.93. So we're talking about 60 cents. 60 cents gives you $1.50. Doesn't give you that much better.
Oh, Bilo, by the way, yesterday when I put the chart out with the head and shoulders, it was because it was partially because I noticed that big red blood diamond, which was on the 8-hour chart, and actually, I've previously only noticed when it's been really effective on the 4-hour chart, but it turns out the 8-hour chart is actually also very effective. So it's worth keeping an eye out.
Sure. One thing I forgot to do today is show you guys again crypto quant on-chain analysis. Reserves are still dropping. Now, bear in mind, this is as of the 25th of October, and today we are the 27th. It's always 2 days lagging since it's the free version, but I am thinking about buying this here. Let's see what it gives me. No lag, full history, no lag. $30 a month. I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
I might buy this because it would be nice to know what's happening over the past 2 days. Might explain some things. Yep. Anybody mind if I go back and check what's happening with SHIB?
The other request was Harmony 1.
Woohoo!
If you fancy it.
Woohoo!
Before I leave, I want to play the Zorro theme for Bilo.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
No, but I don't know how to make it play through here, so it's just in my head.
I'm very glad that we can't hear what's going on in your head, Frank.
That's all right. Good. All right, gents. Take care.
Take care, bud.
Ciao, Regina. Ciao.
Minghia.
Ciao.
Regina.
Enjoy the rest of your night, buddy.
Wow.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci, Regina.
Buonanotte.
Regina mio.
Sogni d'oro a tutti. Ciao.
Altrettanto. Ciao. Good night to your girlfriend.
Boom, boom.
Buonanotte.
That needs to be a little bit more drawn out than that. More like the old Sonic tune when you died.
Listen, I think the last 30 minutes of this video.
I would pull my trumpet out, but it is like 1 o'clock here.
Whoa.
Guys, Harmony is going to $1.
Listen, we're looking at charts, not trumpets, pal.
Oh, Shiba. I'm already a millionaire with Shiba. It's okay. I bought it a long time ago when it just came out.
Frank's girlfriend is sitting there in the bedroom thinking he's been in the toilet for a long time.
No, but I think Shiba is going to knock another 0. The community is pushing a lot, and this is due because they want the listing of Robinhood anytime will be. So.
I see.
Well, here's my next target for Shiba.
You've got the green dot, buddy, on the
Where's
market
this? Oh,
cipher B.
Yeah, look at that.
Maximize
Yes,
that
sir.
pain, Bilo.
Pumpai, the last 20, 30 minutes of this video, you're going to have to delete, my friend.
Why, you're recording? Oh, gosh.
Yeah, we're live on
Yeah,
YouTube.
this is being live on YouTube. Not very professional.
Sorry, guys.
You
Excellent.
didn't do anything with us. We're babies. We're kids.
It's okay. It's nice to be you know.
Yeah.
In the end, you're doing a service. You're helping people, and they should appreciate whatever you do. It's okay, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
not a big
We're allowed
deal.
to have a laugh. It's all
Like to
good.
have a bit of fun.
Yeah. I mean, you even working for them, they should appreciate. And if you want to have fun, you should have fun.
And not only that, but we're doing this all of this for everybody for free. Which
Yeah.
is-
That's the point. That's the point.
So what else did you want to look at? Harmony?
Oh, you know what?
Yes, Harmony.
While you're bringing that chart up, FTM is now $3.25. That is one big ass long-tailed hammer candle that is going on FTM right now. Wow. On the daily.
I'll go back to it. Ooh, look at this curve.
Go on to. Oh right, sorry, yeah. You're on Harmony. Sorry.
Whoa! Look at this. Look at that.
Call it.
How close to the technical target of that rounded bottom or cup and handle are we at the moment, Bilo? I reckon it's probably relatively close. You always got to make your charts really small, haven't you?
Yeah.
Almost looks like a pair of antlers with a dodgy bit sticking out the top of it.
This is not done.
No,
This
and
is
I reckon the technical target of the cup and handle is probably that 1.618.
Anyway, it's not done. This is gonna go up a bit more. It'll have a little retracement because this was a long retracement. This is wave 4 is gonna be very sharp. So the way I see it, the way it's gonna look, it's gonna look something like this.
Yep.
I think this is more or less the way it's gonna look. The only thing I don't like is okay, sorry. It might go here actually. But it's gonna be quick. It's gonna be like it's just gonna be like a
correction.
A very quick correction. Maybe my wave 3 is done. Hold on, let me just see something.
Maybe the options expiry will cause that.
Okay, this happens to me once in a while, and I
do realize that you've just enhanced your screen, so all we can actually see is Bilo's clean chart.
Yes, I do realize. You tell me what to do, because when this happens, I end up having shut down and bring it back up.
Are you on a Mac or a PC? If you're on a PC, then you hold Control and press minus.
I'm on a Mac.
Do you know what? You might just be able to scroll your mouse wheel. To be fair.
No, it doesn't work. When I do that, when this happens, usually I have to.
When you said correction there, I thought there was going to be a little argument again between correction and dump.
Sorry, guys. This could be it. This could be wave 3. And remember, I said wave 4 has to be very quick.
Yep.
This is probably wave 4. This is it. Here. It's right here.
Yeah. Happening right now.
And we're going up. We're going up to wave 5. And this lends a lot of credibility because very often in Elliott Wave, if you draw a channel from wave 1 to 2 and you bring it up to wave 1, that's often where wave 4 is going to test. And look at, I'm just going to make it so that you guys can see it. Here's the channel. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So very, 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 very likely wave 3 is done. This is 4. And because wave 3 was lower, I'm going to put wave 5 a bit lower to about, let's say, a target of just a psychological target of 50 cents. Here, that's what I think is going to happen.
Mm-mm-mm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think the same. Today
She's hoping
dumped
for a
at the
dollar.
demand zone, which is around 28, and then he bounced back very fast, you know.
Pumpeye, was it a dump or was it a correction?
Correction.
But that's to Bitcoin, you know. So I wouldn't enter, for example, any long during Friday because this is going to go down between 55 to 53, something like that. Because of the expiring from the future, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Bilo.
Yep.
Flick back
Shiba?
onto- sorry, just flick back onto FTM for a minute, Bilo,
Yeah, sure.
and have a look at the current daily candle. That's the 15-minute, buddy.
Yeah.
Remove your drawings and look at that beauty.
So this is, no, I see it. So this is my correction. My ABC is here. It's done. And we're starting a new wave.
Oh yeah. Phantom is gonna melt faces, and it's starting now.
You don't know what's going to happen with Phantom. I
That
can't say it, but
that
some
candle-
big stuff is going. It's
That
going to
candle
go
is
to
huge.
$10. I'm telling you.
If Phantom
Is
goes
it
to
a bad
$10,
thing that I sold some then?
Phantom is going to $10. What?
Is it bad that I sold some recently then?
Yeah, very bad, very bad. Yes,
Mark,
yes, very
Okay,
bad.
give me 5 minutes.
Mark, did you sell at the bottom? Were you a bottom feeder?
You did a very bad thing because something is going to happen big, you know. The partnership with Binance, it's not something small. It's something huge.
Yeah, I'll be back in 3 minutes.
That's what she said.
What?
She said he'd be back in 3 minutes.
Okay, go in.
Is that an inverse head and shoulders there as well, Bilo?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I'd say the target of that's probably about 380, roughly. Just eyeing it.
Look at the, I mean, it's just,
Well,
if this was A and this was my B, look at my C. Look at that. Look at this. I mean, it's just amazes me sometimes how I didn't say this was going to happen. I'm just saying that it's just amazing that it bounced exactly at 1.618.
do you know what, Bilo? I was actually 2 cents out because I did say last night that I thought that the C wave would finish on 250 and it hit 252.
Anyway, definitely Phantom's going places. It's no doubt.
So,
So-
no financial advice, guys, but Harmony 1, Phantom,
Financial advice all evening, and we say no
Shiba.
financial advice.
Shiba Inu, the new Bitcoin head developer Shibtoshi is going to melt
Yeah.
faces.
Yep.
So Bilo, can we have a look at Radix?
So boring. 1, 2.
See, this is actually a very tradable coin as well. That's the thing, is that you're saying that it's boring, but
2.
realistically, it's a very tradable coin because you've got really obvious areas of support and resistance.
Sorry, 1 sec. I'm just trying to figure something out, okay? So, believe it or not, this would just be wave 1 here. This here, this entire is wave 1.
Nice.
After the correction. And then wave 2 should be, hold on. Look at that, man. It's like, it's just, look at the 382. It's the top of wave 5. So this is wave 2. So even if you see it go up here, don't panic and don't FOMO. You're going to get another chance. Anyway, I don't want to predict. It's too far in advance, but yeah, I agree. Phantom is going to do very well. No. What else?
Radix.
Oh, yeah. Down the wrong hole. Radix, right? Pumpy, Radix?
Yep.
Oof. Oh, man. It looks like what my kid can draw. What do you want to see?
What do you think is going to happen?
Like somebody's having a atrial fibrillation.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
It's about to have a heart attack. I don't know. It looks like it's just ranging. I don't know.
Well, I've just posted in CS anyway, with a lot more zoomed in version of the chart.
Yeah.
But actually, this last section of the chart, from about the middle of it, this is you might say that it's boring because it's kind of consolidation, but
no, I'm just tired.
Yeah,
recently.
I know. But there's like 40% price movements there. So
yeah,
it's actually a really, really tradable coin because it's got really obvious supports and resistances. So you know where to buy, you know where to sell. Yeah, it could not be easier.
You're 100% right.
These are the sort of coins that actually, when we hit a bear market, a lot of people will find, especially people that haven't been in a bear market before, if they don't get bear market PTSD, oh no, all my money's gone. If they've hopefully taken profits and they've got money to sit and play around with and turn into more money. Actually, I know a lot of people that have said that it's much easier to make money in a bear market consistently because coins are ranging and you're able to see the supports and resistances easier. So
yeah,
these are actually good charts to look out for. Both this and FET as well. Like I was saying to Frank earlier, that I'm surprised that he's not trading his FET because one, he's got a decent stack of it, so he's got a lot that he could play around with. But two, also that it's really obvious where to buy and sell. Not that Frank needs that because he's an experienced trader anyway, but it's perfect to be able to trade on. So
Yeah, that's true.
if you're a beginner and you want to get into trading and you're looking for something to practice on, then this sort of thing is actually the perfect thing for you to look for. Is something that's ranging.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a lot more difficult to judge your buying and selling points, or at least your selling points, then more so than the buying points, because of the amount of knowledge that flows through crypto society with regards to buying points. It's a lot more difficult to gauge where you should sell when we're in a raging bull market and something's just going up and up and up and up and up, because you don't know whether all of a sudden Bitcoin's going to make the market crap its pants and go down massively.
Mm-hmm.
So this is perfect. Just a thought. And there's a lot of these little gems on KuCoin, actually.
You're right.
I was also looking at odds on KuCoin,
Yeah.
ODDZ.
Oh, that's a coin. Sorry, what is it?
Yeah. ODDZ.
Yeah.
Same sort of thing. That's had a
Yeah.
nice spike the last couple of days, and I'm actually expecting that to break out now. And
Have you been trading this?
no, I haven't. But I was going to buy some this morning, and then I got sidetracked and bought some ELA instead, which actually has a relatively similar sort of chart.
Okay. Okay. Very cool.
That's a nice amount of buying volume today.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And that's actually a good signal that from this point, if there's that much buying volume on one day, then that's a good signal that actually it could be about to explode massively, in my opinion.
Okay, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. Pumpeye, you need to edit this one, huh?
No. I simply do not have enough hours in the day. If you could somehow give me an extra 12 hours a day, so I've got 36 hour days, I would be eternally grateful.